Going live. Hi, everyone. This is Michael Connon representing. This is going to be the first time I'm saying this. The TooMedToo's Star Wars Network. A little different than it was before because just making a few changes, adding a few things. Gonna, possibly diversify a little bit. I'm sorry, I'm looking down. I don't. I'm running a little bit behind. I got had to work today, so I'm not used to that. But turn that off, and yeah. So there you go. It's gonna be thinking about keeping this live chat definitely. Without thinking about keeping it, it's gonna be definitely keeping the live chat, and it is going to be the TooMedToo Bacta tank. Going with the TooMedToo medical theme that we're keeping, and we're also going because it's kind of like a think tank where the greatest thinkers of Star Wars get together and talk Star Wars. Today we have coming in hot. We have Charlie Skywalker. Hi, Charlie. How you doing?
Hey, Michael. Doing well, doing well. Hey, you know what? I'm really excited for what you're bringing in and what you bring to the table. Really excited for all the new stuff that you're going to add. Man, I'm just over the moon for you. Really excited to see what you're going to do.
Well, like I said, You're a little bit loud, Charlie. Just so you know. I think you're
All
loud,
right,
but that's um,
I cut it back.
keeping this. That's going to be the front runner the every Monday. For now, unless something happens to change, or it always can. But I'll at least be going live doing this at least one night where everybody can join in and come in and say, "Hey, what's up?" Like I said, this is going to be the TooMedToo back to tank, bringing all the great thinkers together. And podcasters and everything. Um, and then I have whenever myself and Mike can get together, we're gonna have the coach's corner. Um, and that's pretty much it. It's not like I'm not going to be like some large big thing, but just me and Mike are going to be. It could be once a week, a couple weeks in a row. It could be once every 2 or 3 months for a couple months. And then just a little bit of other stuff coming in.
Yeah, that sounds awesome.
Um,
Although I don't know about great thinkers, but we definitely have a good time talking Star Wars.
well, and we also, I want to talk to you. We didn't get to talk too much last week about you just started up a podcast.
Yes, yeah, two episodes deep. I just basically did an intro 2 weeks ago. It was only about 30, 40 minutes long. Then last week was my first interview. And of course, our fellow friend, Rural Farm Boy, was the guest of honor. And we chatted for a little bit more than an hour. I had a really good time, had some interesting questions for him. Uh, I'm going to try a lot of different things, see what format really sticks, and then go from there. But yeah, I've really enjoyed it so far. This week's I've already uh, done a lot of research into the topic for this week, so we'll give it a go. Should have it up by Friday night, Saturday, and yeah, it's going to be awesome.
Yeah, I actually haven't listened to it, the podcast yet, but that's just because I'm lazy and you're not on Podbean or BeanPod or whatever it is, and you're not on Google Catcher, so I haven't gone to download other catchers to find you. Um, but I will soon enough. I I've had my troubles with the podcasts lately, and haven't schedule changes, haven't been able to um, listen that much. So instead of doing 10 or 12 podcasts a day listening, I'm down to 2 or 3 on a good day. But starting to get back up there. Things are switching back around and whatever. It's just all
Oh yeah,
just life stuff. So hopefully I'm going to be able to rebel at work a couple times this week, so I'll be able to get caught up on everything. And welcome. We have Nick. And what was that?
I was going to say, Apple's kind of frustrating. When I published the first episode, I went into Apple Podcast and asked them to vet the show. So they have to make sure there's nothing copyrighted and all that kind of junk on there. Listen to the show, I guess, make sure that it's on the up and up. They said it'll only take about 24 to 48 hours for it to get approved. And here it's been about a week, and we got another notice in the email today. Sorry for the delay. Sometimes it could take up to 2 weeks to get everything approved. We'll let you know when. So as of right now, it's just Anchor and Spotify. Hopefully on Apple Podcasts and go from there.
You broke up a little bit, but I think you were saying you're on Anchor and I'm not sure. Well, Spotify. So that's good. So we can all listen to you there. So that's a good thing. I'll have you whether I gotta download Spotify or go. I think I have Anchor because I was thinking about a couple people have told me I should turn this into a podcast. And honestly, if I did ever do that, I would just take it and put the audio on there and let it go. There's no editing. I don't have time to sit there and if it was an hour long like it's planned to be, that would be one thing. But when we go to 2.5 and 3 hours, I'm not going to sit there and listen to, record for 2 or 3 hours and then do, whatever else I'm trying to do, and then go through and edit to make it radio friendly. Not with the language, because sometimes we turn to sailors on here, but just with the gaps and everything, and cutting out a few seconds here and there of dead sound to make it sound good for the radio. So
oh yeah,
but yeah,
it's a work. It takes several days to, once after you get it recorded, to make sure you go through and edit everything. And I like that part of it, the technical side of it, but I think that has to do with me being an engineer and having that background. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. But as format too, where we just sit back and cut loose and discuss whatever we want to discuss.
That's like you were saying. Being new, you're going to try couple different formats and see what fits and what you really like, and that's where you've heard me, and everyone that's here has heard me tell a story where I just tried anything and everything, trying to I decided I was going to start it without doing any research or whatever. I just started it and started doing throwing everything at the wall and seeing what was going to stick, and I ended up found what I liked, but it was too much work and burnt myself out and took a break for a year, and was at a bar with some friends of mine and decided, this is what I want to do. We're sitting around, and people that I didn't know liked Star Wars and didn't know that I liked Star Wars. Star Wars came up somehow, and we sat there and we just talked Star Wars for hours. And I was like, that's what I want my channel to be, is just sitting there chatting about Star Wars. And, I usually start off talking about why everybody has the wrong impression of Resistance, and I was so busy yesterday and today I didn't even have a chance to watch it because I was finishing up my Mandalorian rewatch, so I could talk with this guy right here, Trevor Beast 454, about the Mandalorian, and more of not really talking about the Mandalorian too much, but more doing some rankings and discussing some rankings. And if anybody else wants to join us, I'm going to throw this in here right now. I don't know what I'm doing. Throw that in there. If anybody wants to hop on here and chat with us. Trevor, how are you doing today?
I'm doing fantastic. Thank you, Michael. And a great way of cueing me into the stream. Excellent transition work.
I wish I could have said it was planned, but I was just, you weren't even on yet, and I started talking about Resistance, and it just kind of, flowed right in perfectly. So you see that? That's why everybody should be listening and watching, because I'm the best in the world at absolutely nothing, and that's what just transpired.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So you guys probably could answer this. I've been on such a Rebels kick to get caught up with it. I haven't even looked for Resistance. Is Resistance on Disney Plus?
Season 1, yeah, season 1 is on Disney Plus. Season 2 has approximately 0 episodes on it at this time.
All right, yeah. Once I finish up Rebels, which should be here fairly soon, then I'll jump over to Resistance.
Okay. And I will say though that if but once you watch all of season 1, you can watch season 2 premiere on the Star Wars Kids YouTube channel. That's on there. So.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Yeah, I really couldn't. I tried Clone Wars when it first came out on Netflix, and just something about the animation style, I really couldn't get into it. So I kind of put it off, and then I was like, oh, I'll go watch it again. And they had already taken it off of Netflix. So someone said, oh, just start watching Rebels and go from there. And so I started that and got hooked on the Rebels. Now I'll have to go back and finish Clone Wars and Resistance. Yeah. But hey, we got time. So there's nothing really coming out as far as book content till March, I think. And Mando season 2 is in the fall, so I got time for everything to get caught up.
Yeah. I actually printed out. I've been for a week or two going to start my Clone Wars rewatch, and I'm going to do it in chronological order. I still haven't started it yet. I'm gonna, I'll have it done before it starts. It's still a month away, so it's 3 episodes a day. It's an hour a day. That won't take me that long. Plus, sometimes I like to binge watch, and I've been known to binge watch, 8 hours of a season of something in a day, or, I don't know if you guys have, going into Celebration. I was at Echo Base. I don't know if you guys know what Echo Base was, but it was a bunch of podcasters and people, and I was lucky enough to be invited to stay there with them, and they were having a huge Game of Thrones night because it was the premiere of Game of Thrones last season, and I had the choice of either I hadn't watched any episodes of Game of Thrones, so watching all the episodes of Game of Thrones, or losing that night with everybody, which out of there's I think 20 of us in the house. Another 10 or 15 people came over for it. There was only, I think, 2 or 3 people that weren't, involved because they weren't watching Game of Thrones. And, luckily I was able to get in there. But what happened is I was trying to watch it for a while with my girlfriend, and she kept saying, no, she didn't want to do it. No, she didn't want to do it or watch it. But she didn't want to watch it without me or watch it. She didn't want me to watch it without her, but she didn't want to watch it. So it's just happens a lot with our TV programs. So she decided that people at work were telling her she needed to watch it. And I said, well, we have a month to watch all 7 seasons or whatever it was. So I was like, if we're going to do this, we need to commit because, we need to watch 3 episodes a day, and that's, 3 hours. So we did it in, it was, I think, 23 days we watched it all. But there was a couple days we didn't watch. I think it was 16 or 18 days we watched the entire thing, and there was a lot of she'd watch an episode and I would be home and I'd watch that episode and we'd catch up and watch 2 episodes together and like that, but we got it done. So we did the whole thing in 16 or 18 days. So binging is possible when you put your mind to it for things like that.
That's impressive.
That's, I mean, well, it's impressive and also not impressive, I guess. I don't know what the unimpressive, but yeah. So, all right. So we have a Mandalorian list.
Yes, and yeah.
Now, when I gave my list last week, I said I had 2 places. 1 and 8 were in first place, and the other 6 were in second place. And I went through and I rewatched them all. And I started writing notes for us to talk about, this and that and what I thought. And, like chapter 1, I have about 4 or 5 pages of notes. And as it went on, it just got smaller and smaller notes because, I went from being, I've already reviewed these and done a review of them. And it's not, this isn't really a review. This is just kind of like a quick ranking and talking about it. But anyways, yeah, so I haven't watched Resistance this week. That will be after this or after my girlfriend goes to bed tonight because I had to work today. I usually don't work Mondays. I had to work this morning. So by the time I got home about 6 o'clock and did some running around and, try to get everything ready for this tonight. But I was watching Rebel Scum because I don't want to miss that. So that's why I was running a couple minutes late. But, yeah, so she gets home from work. She has Mondays off too, but had to go into work for a little while. So I'm expecting her in anytime. That's why I'm back in the living room, not in my little studio because she'll get home and I'll get kicked out of there and then I have to move all my shit. So, but we have Kylo coming in because I know Kylo wanted to talk with us about this. But I know Trevor, you said you don't have a lot of time. You need to split early.
Well, yeah. No offense, Michael, but I didn't realize last week that the national championship's going on between Clemson and LSU right here. So. Yeah, I'm open with talking for about half an hour or so, but then okay. I don't want to miss the rest of this game because it is pretty exciting right now. Both 14-0 teams, and Trevor Lawrence, Joe Burrow, but we don't have to talk about that. We're here to talk Mandalorian. So
we're here to talk anything we want to talk about. That's the great thing about being us. Yeah. But okay, so I'm gonna go down and I'm going to give just my list, and then we can talk about it. I know you gave your list last week, Trevor. Why don't you go and you just go down and give your list first because you gave it last week. So just give her a refresher on what your list was.
Well, I didn't. Okay, so
you didn't give your list. We had you hold on to it.
I did reveal my favorite chapter out of the 8, and you can also hear a discussion on the Canto cast that I did with Tristan about it, but
which I was going to listen to, but I haven't listened to it yet. It's in my podcatcher. It's still on there because I finished. I didn't have time to because I finished my rewatch today because the way stuff goes, and then my girlfriend, she was able to hire a manager, so she's not really the only one at work anymore. So she's got a manager underneath her. So she's able to cut her hours. So now she's only working like 55 or 60 hours a week, instead of 80 or 90. So I get to spend a little bit more time with her, which cuts in my Star Wars time. But, a little bit of give and take. She's not going to complain that our night off together, I'm doing Star Wars when she gets home. So, even though I start at 8:30 and I should be done by 9:30 or 10, and who knows how late it's going to go because a lot of times it gets much later than that. But we still don't have Rural Farm Boy jumping in, so he sometimes I say goodbye to him 2 or 3 times before we actually leave. So we'll see if he pops in here like he usually does. But okay, so you revealed your number one. Your number one is or was episode number 6, I believe.
Yes, that's correct. It was The Prisoner, Chapter 6, directed by Rick Famuyiwa.
Okay. That was not my number one.
Okay.
My number one was episode 1.
All right.
And episode 1. Yeah. Episode 1 is the unnamed one. Charlie, do you have a ranking, or do you know the ranking off the top of your head?
I probably have it off the top of my head.
All right, what's your number one? If you got it, or
my number one also is the pilot. It set the stage. It's definitely number one.
All right, Trevor, what's your number 2?
My number 2 has to be Chapter 8, Redemption, directed by Taika Waititi.
Okay, that was my number 2 also. And
as is mine.
And that's the name of that one is? Did you say what the name of that one was, Trevor?
It was Redemption.
Okay. All right, then your number 3, Trevor.
All right. So my number 3 is Chapter 3, The Sin, directed by Deborah Chow.
Okay. My number 3 was 7, The Reckoning.
My number 3 is number 7 as well.
Okay. And your number 4, Trevor?
Yeah, my number 4 is Chapter 7, The Reckoning, directed by Deborah Chow.
Okay. My number 4 is number 5. Or Chapter 5.
My number 4.
Yeah, The Gunslinger.
Yeah. Oh, Anthony corrected. I think I keep saying episode. Anthony corrected me that it's chapter, but
Yeah.
To me they're one and the same. It's kind of like saying at or AT. They're both canon because they've both been used or said in canon. But so it's just a personal preference thing. But no, that is wrong. They are chapters, not episodes. But I'm sorry, Charlie. What was your number 4?
That would be Chapter 3.
Okay. And Chapter 3. What was the name for Chapter 3? That was The Sin.
Yeah, The Sin.
Yes.
Okay. All right. And number 5?
All right. So for me, at number 5 is Chapter 1, the first one. So.
Okay.
Yeah,
and
directed by Dave Filoni. So.
Okay. My number 5 is Chapter 4, Sanctuary.
I
Charlie?
believe that's mine as well. Number 4.
Okay. What do you have for number 6, Trevor?
All right. Number 6 would be Chapter 2, The Child, directed by Rick Famuyiwa.
Okay. My number 6. Hang on here. What did I say? We're on number 6, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes, we are.
Yes.
My number 6 is Chapter 3. Which is The Sin.
Indeed.
Did I say that right? Did I skip one? Or did I go over?
No, you said it right.
Okay.
And then
All right.
Mine would be Chapter 2.
Okay. And what do you have for number 7, Trevor?
All right. At Chapter 7. Okay, sorry. At number 7, I have Chapter 5, The Gunslinger, directed by Dave Filoni.
Okay. My number 7 is Chapter 2, The Child. Charlie?
Chapter 5, I believe, is the second Dave Filoni one, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Indeed it is.
And it's hard to say your least favorite because, I mean, you're ranking them, so it's obviously the least favorite, but that doesn't mean it's bad and you don't like it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So the one that you think should have never been made, Trevor, is?
Well, I mean, by process of elimination, it is Chapter 4, Sanctuary, directed by Bryce Dallas Howard.
Okay. Here, I'm gonna put the invite code right here. Anybody that needs it can hop right on. Because I found out that even though I could put the code on there, and even if trolls come in here and they use the code to get on, I can still just kick them off anyway, so it doesn't really matter. So that's not that big of a deal. I'm gonna guess if there was a bunch of trolls coming in, it would just be a pain in the ass. But whatever, we'll just find them and destroy their lives. But okay, number 8, I have 6, Chapter 6.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
All right, and Charlie. Charlie's gone.
No.
I didn't write down what you all had.
Okay.
But
I wrote down your rankings.
Okay.
And I have to say it's quite intriguing that my favorite chapter was your least favorite according to the rankings.
And I'm sure if I was to watch them again, my 1 and 2 would stay the same. And some of my other ones might change. depending on what kind of mood I'm in, depending on what I'm doing. If I was, what I'm doing while I'm watching them, I'm actually sitting there watching them. One or two of them I watched while I was trying to fall asleep. So, I don't know if that really had anything to do with it. It'll be interesting when I do my next rewatch where I watch them straight through like that. Without really skipping or anything. I'll have to do another list and compare them and see how they compare, because just really quick, the couple of the notes that I took, the chapter 1, it was the first one that started everything off. It's what got us really interested. I call him Gary Busey. I know it's Nick Nolte, but it's just Gary Busey, and that's what the kind of the joke with me and Mike is, that he was Gary Busey. It gives us the biggest reveal, and possibly even a bigger reveal than I Am Your Father, with it being Baby Yoda, and the fact that Disney decided to forego all the millions of dollars that they would have made, tens of millions of dollars, if not hundreds of millions of dollars, right before Christmas. And what we talked about, the new Cabbage Patch, the Cabbage Patch of 2019 is what I think it would have been. And with not letting us know about Baby Yoda until, because that's how, if it would have been put out there, we would have found out about it, and it wouldn't have been the big reveal, and it wouldn't have been so big with non-Star Wars fans liking Baby Yoda. And even though my girlfriend still won't watch The Mandalorian with me, when I was watching it the other day, Baby Yoda came out, she said, "Oh my God, Baby Yoda's so cute." All right, change it now. But all right, we have Kylo joining us.
What's up, guys?
In his Star Wars man den.
Welcome.
Hey, Trevor. What's up, man?
Yeah. Well,
yes, yeah, kind of like Leprechaun. We kind of have Leprechaun. Mr. Rez said that. Oh, never mind. I was reading it wrong. Rural Farm Boy said he's a troll killer, and Mr. Rez said like Leprechaun. And I thought when I was talking about Baby Yoda, that he was saying that I said Baby Yoda was going to be huge, or would have been huge, like Cabbage Patch Dolls. And I thought Mr. Rez was saying like Leprechaun in the movie, trying to be funny. But by the way, if everyone's noticed, the name of, I haven't changed it up there, but I'm still in the process of changing everything. It is now the TooMedToo's Star Wars Network, also known as the We Hate Mr. Rez podcast, Star Wars channel network, Consortium Limited, Esquire.
What did Mr. Rez do to you?
It's not what he did to me; it's what he hasn't done to me. Is more of the question. That would be a much shorter list, I think. So this is day number 3 of the We Hate Mr. Rez fan club. It's kind of like the Mickey Mouse Club, but without a net funicello. So
Yeah,
there's no boobs on here right now.
All right. Well, I didn't know that entailed hating Mr. Rez in order to be a part of this thing, but I guess I should have read the fine print.
Well, yeah, we always get you in the fine print.
Yeah.
So let's see, where's my list here? Number 8. The only reason number 8 is the second one is because of the reveal of Baby Yoda. It just it came. It pulled everything together from the other ones, and just so much in there. Then we have number 7. That's where we have everything starts coming back together, and they're putting the group together, and we see some more force powers coming into play, where we have the force choke, and we have the healing power, which I don't remember who it was. Someone has come come out and said, the reason that they had Baby Yoda do the healing power was so that the Rey one, like everyone speculated, so that when Rey did it, it wasn't so much of a Mary Sue thing, because if the little fucking baby can do it, why can't this grown woman do it? So that kind of killed a lot of the whateverness. Then I had number 5, and number 5, that was the one that Dave Filoni did. That was a nostalgia one for me. I think it was the most fun one for me. I think I got the I don't know if I'd say the most enjoyment out of it, but it was just the most fun, because I was like, oh wait, I know that. Oh, I know that. Oh, that and it's the Easter eggs and remembering the first time you saw things like that and whatever it was. And then we had number 5 was number 4, the Sanctuary. That's the one that Trevor decided should have never been made.
I never said that, but okay.
Well,
I mean, I reviewed Chapter 4 of Sanctuary on 2 different podcasts, both the Scarif podcast and the Blue Milk Cafe. So
I heard both of those.
Yeah, and I wasn't on to review any other specific chapter other than Sanctuary with a podcast. So
well, someday we'll wait till. All right, here we go, Trevor. Before the next season starts, we will go through and we will review all 8 of the episodes again. You and I and anyone else that wants to, if you're game for that. After we've had some time for it to sink in, and we see what kind of ancillary material we get from it, if they have anything coming out, that will add to it, or if we get dictionaries by then or encyclopedias, or if they're gonna do like they did with episode 1, 2, and 3, they put out small ones, and then when the trilogy was complete, they put all 3 of those into one big one. So we'll see if they do something like that or whatever. Or wait until the Clone Wars was over and then did one for the whole Clone Wars and see. But if you're down for it, we'll go through after we've had a year or another 6 months or whatever of watching it, see what we found out at Celebration, and we'll go through and we'll review them again. Maybe not in detail as I have, and that are done on a lot of podcasts, being a half hour to an hour and a half, whatever it is. But we'll go through and just kind of do a quick review and maybe pump out 2 or 3 and an episode, and something like that. If you're down for that.
So, I mean, yes, that definitely interests me, reviewing it. I'm just worried that the discussion is just already going to be so similar to what you've already done with Michael Pappas reviewing the things, and I feel like it's going to be pretty much the same, like with not much new content to discuss, or just new avenues within the chat. But I don't know. I will say though that I will definitely be up for reviewing the Clone Wars season 7 within like the next upcoming month or 2. Because there's 12 Clone Wars episodes coming out for that, and I'd love to review that sort of thing with you.
Okay, yeah, so, We'll figure something out. We got we're now branded as the network. So, we're not just it's not just me as the dead robot anymore. It's now the Dead Robot Network.
Yeah, exactly. If you're going to be if you're going to claim to be a network, then you got to be a network.
Hell yeah, dude. And, that might be not adding anything more, but, we call ourselves what we want to, because that's how we do here. Where did I leave off? So number 6, we have, chapter 3, which when it came out, I was really psyched. And, I don't know. It's weird because as every episode that came out, it's kind of like, what's my favorite Star Wars movie? Besides The Last Jedi, it's pretty much number 2 is whichever one I watched the last time. So that we have the Sanctuary, that's where we got This Is the Way. That's where that comes from. We learn a little bit more, but my number 7 was 2, The Child. I was at Pappas' house watching this. I think I was at Pappas'. I don't even remember. But yeah, watching it and just, Baby Yoda's picking up this fucking dinosaur, and he's doing this and that, and it was just so cool at the moment. I think, like I said, after watching every episode, it was like my favorite episode until I had time to rewatch it and think about the other episodes. And then the list for this time is number 6, which I was so stoked about and liked it so much. It just, that's where it happens to fall into the list. And I realized going through and rewatching it straight through like a rewatch, or a 3 or 4-hour movie or whatever it is, that even though you had different directors and a lot of different directing styles, it still all flowed through. There wasn't any mashups like anything else recently that kind of, you can tell different directors directed them and things like that. But a couple of the episodes that people talked about that they were filler episodes, like chapter 4. I think it was chapter 4. That was chapter 5 and chapter 6, where we have the Filoni one. So you had what was chapter 5, Trevor? I know you know the
chapter 5 was the gunslinger. That's
gunslinger. Yeah, that was the nostalgia one, which is basically the chef's kiss to George Lucas. And then you have 6. Then you have 6. Which the name was 6. You'll know.
Prisoner.
The prisoner. And a lot of people saying that was a filler one too, and that's where we started to get a little bit of, it's turning into, they're stretching it out, everything. But doing the rewatch like that, I picked up on some more things, and it actually a lot of like nonchalant things, and giving us more, not necessarily like we got in chapter 6, we got story about the history of the Mandalorian and how he had his his side piece, the Twi'lek, back in the day or whatever, but just building on character of him. And he's a bounty hunter, he's a killer, that's what he does. He can bring you in hot or he can bring you in cold. Warm, okay, bring you in warm, bring in cold. Bring in warm, bring in cold. So he's obviously he has no problem killing you, but that was chapter 1. He's got no problem killing you, unless bringing you in cold means bringing you in frozen carbonite. I'm not sure which one that is. We're not really sure yet about that, but chapter 6, we think he went and killed everybody that was on that transport, and we find out that he locked them up. Which was probably more difficult than killing all of them. So we're starting to learn about his morals and morality, and we'll probably learn more did he have those at the beginning of chapter 1, or did him becoming a Instadad kind of bring out some of those things in him. But it was just just little things I picked up in every single one, which I don't feel like really going through my notes right now and reading them, because those are some of the things I wrote down. But just things that showing more of his character, and giving us little glimpses to his sociology and the way he thinks and the way he does things. But all right, now after my long rant, Kylo Customs.
Yes.
How you doing?
What's up, guys? I'm all right.
Thanks for joining us. Sorry I didn't say hi to you earlier, but I was on my kick and didn't want to lose my train of rampage thought. So
Well, that's okay, because I miss saying hi to Rural Farm Boy too. So hi to him, and hi to let's see, Nick, who I believe is in here too, and then of course Mr. Rez. He's here, but yeah, I was just listening, and you're taking in what you were saying. So I just finished rewatching late last night myself. So,
what did you have did you have your list?
I'm actually I have all my notes. I'm in the process right now. I'll listen to you guys at writing the numbers in so I can list them off. So it'll be a few moments yet while I still finish that up. I was late to class and I didn't bring a pen, so I have to grab one.
All right. Well, you're in detention. You have to stay an extra hour after. No, that means I'd have to stay longer.
Hey, we're usually in detention. And this podcast, this live stream is usually we have detention anyway. So
it's more like in-school suspension. The amount of time we put in here.
pretty much, it's about as cool as in-school suspension was because it wasn't really that bad back in the day.
Well,
I was in there with my friends, so it wasn't that bad.
Yeah.
But let me grab this pen, and then you guys keep on going, and I'll catch up.
Okay.
All right.
Well, yeah, but I'd definitely like to talk about Chapter 6 because that, you could say it's just a side quest. It doesn't really add too much to the story, but it's like the perfect side quest that I'm wanting. All these characters, Mayfeld for sure, Shion. You also have, you also have Clancy Brown as the Davaranian, if I'm pronouncing that right, but just like the whole squad of mercenaries going to do that job, and it's such a great setting. Like that New Republic transport ship just was like such a great location. It reminded you a little bit of the Tanda before, but then and it was also just great how like the lighting as well, how it was all lit up well towards the beginning. Then the Mandalorian gets betrayed, throws into the prison cell, and he's got to fight his way out using the prison guard and using that arm. Like that was fantastic. And then he gains control of the ship and turns off the lights and and then you see the red lights, the different flashing and stuff. It all just led so well to create what I enjoyed the most, more so than any other chapter. It's just fantastic, like through and through. And plus it was also fantastic to see those directors, Rick Famuyiwa, Deborah Chow, Dave Filoni, as those New Republic X-Wing pilots. Like that was fantastic. I loved it from start to finish.
Yeah. Well, that's like I've been saying. People call them filler episodes and this and that, and you're really not going to know until I don't know what's going on. He's got somebody to fight us, Kylo. He's trying to fight Boxes or something. You don't really know what's going to happen. And are they filler episodes or what do they bring to the table until the end of the season or till next season or till, the end of the series? Because, we think besides showing us the character of the Mandalorian, we think he's killed them. And now we find out they're still alive. Mm-hmm. Well, are they going to be in season 2? I may know some spoilers about that.
Okay. Well, I'd say 45% chances of right now, but that I don't know. I feel like, and I might be completely wrong here, but I feel like they're more likely to show up in season 3, even though I don't even know if a season 3 is going to happen.
Well, you want to know a spoiler, Trevor?
Well, the what about season 2 itself?
Yes.
Okay. Sure. Go ahead.
From what I've heard on another podcast, Bill Burr,
yes,
is in season 2.
All right.
So
I'm all for
it. Somebody that a friend who heard it from a friend who or whatever. That Bill Burr was, he's in season 2. So
all right.
Whether or not he's the only one,
up to that.
Whether or not he's the only one of the group that is, or if they stretch it out into they were all transported and it crashes and they little stories or whatever they're going to do. So we know at least one of them is right. So I can't say reported that they are, but that's what someone on their podcast said their friend told them, and I trust and believe this person. So so we have at least that to work with.
Okay,
so we'll see where it goes from there.
Yeah, but the only thing I know for certain about season 2 is that Carl Weathers is going to direct at least one chapter, as well as Rick Famuyiwa returning, and he directed The Child, Chapter 2, and Chapter 6, The Prison. So,
yeah. And with, Charles is in. We have Charles here, stopping in to say hello. So yeah, so I mean that's where we stand on the rankings. And Kylo's finishing his up. But yeah, I think there's still after. I think there's still plenty much more to talk about. Even though I did my review, I still have 2 more reviews recorded to post. Chapter 6 and Chapter 7, and
Chapter 8 though, right?
I haven't. Chapter 8 still needs to be. Well, Chapter 8 still needs to be recorded. Okay. But that hasn't been recorded. That could be recorded this weekend. It might be a month or 2 from now. Who knows? That's what. Yeah. That's how Coach's Corner kind of is. It's all. We got together. We had plans to do a lot of stuff, and I was gonna play Oculus Quest and everything, and we ended up recording 3 episodes instead. So. Recorded an episode and took a break for a half hour, an hour, and then recorded another episode and took a break for an hour. So, yeah. By Chapter 7, when we recorded, it gets pretty lively because there was a couple hours of drinking involved in that one. So not by me, obviously, but by other people that were on camera. So. Chapter, it just gets a little better, a little more entertaining, I should say. Instead of us just talking, it gets a little crazier. But sorry, Kylo. So, are you back?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm just here for the ride.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want me to go backwards, like 8 to 1 or 1 to 8?
No, just start with your number 1, your favorite episode, and work down.
My favorite episode would have been the first one, just because it was introducing everything and just getting me into learning the new story and kind of like what angle, and giving me a little bit of background of the Mando. Then it was super cool. There was some nostalgia in there too, a little bit. And then of course they introduced the child at the end. Not a big decision maker. I just like the first episodes in a lot of things because it lays your groundwork for what they're gonna attempt to work on. My second episode, my rank number 2 is gonna be the final episode, Redemption. I picked that one secondly because of the way that it had a lot of the action. It had the good closeout. How they worked their way out of that, being trapped by Moff Gideon, showing that the redemption of the IG unit was really cool. Where he was basically, originally we know, programmed as a hunter, turns around at the very end, medically heals the Mando so they can continue on their escape. Another part that I thought was really badass was the I forget her name, the forger, the Mandalorian forger. I don't remember if her name was given.
Oh, it's just called the Armorer.
Okay, because I can't. But she was badass. I liked her character a lot. Just the way that she handled the situation, and then when the stormtroopers came in, that was awesome. The way she just went whole badass on them and just took them all out. Seemed like with ease to me.
Agreed.
And then let's see. And then also with them to be able to bring in the black saber at the very end when Moff Gideon cuts his way out of the TIE fighter, that really stood out to me. That's pretty awesome. So it had a lot of what do you call them, Easter eggs or something. So yeah. That's why I placed that one number 2, because there's so many Easter eggs, so much stuff going on, and I gotta say, Cara Dune's badass. So, I mean, I'm impartial to the character. I like the character a lot. Let's see. Then my number 3 was The Reckoning, um, chapter 7. When they get into that little situation, but I liked it was because Mando, of course, had the child with him, but he goes and he gets Cara Dune. Hey, can you? When it opens up, she's in there beating that guy's ass in that bar, or that planet bar. I'll call it a bar because that's the way it was kind of like set up. She's in there fighting him. She wins that fight. He gets her to agree to come along. Then they go and they get Quill and talk him into coming back when he's already said he won't go into any kind of servitude again. Get him to come in along, and then they meet up on Navarro, and then they make the plan to propose that they're delivering the child, but they send the child back with Quill. They go in there and they get stuck in that situation, which I think 6 and 7 should have been like episode 7 part 1, or I mean chapter 7 part 1, chapter 7 part 2, because it looked like it was the same episode. It just lapped over. Number 4, I went with the Sanctuary. That would have been chapter number 4. Just because I kind of liked how they set that up and how they set up the whole. That had like nostalgia in it too, like how they set up how they met Cara Dune's character that's going to help him along the rest of the way. They had the issue with the Raiders and that ATST. That was really cool how they brought an ATST into it, and how it shows that where he could take, aside from his bounty hunting way of life, to kind of like a normal life of where it showed him just being kind of like a person in that village until the Raiders actually were getting ready to cause them issues. My number 5, I went with the Gunslinger. Like you said, Michael, that's very, very nostalgic. A lot of Easter eggs. It was like, holy crap, they're on Tatooine. Wow, look at it's Docking Bay 35. Hey, look, there's the cantina. I was sitting there watching it with my daughter. I'm like, does this look familiar? Does this look familiar? Hey, look, it's the cantina. I think, wow. I go, and then like it's the same booth Han Solo sat in. And hey, look, I told her, I said, look, there's the speeder bikes. The Tusken Raiders, the Dewbacks, all. So I mean, that was a really cool episode. And I really enjoyed that episode with just all the little Easter eggs and the throwbacks to my mind. Number 6 went to episode 3, The Sin, where Mando gets the bounty. He turns where he gets his new armor forged from the bounty after he turns them in. It's kind of cool to where he got his whistling birds and he pretty much used them almost right away. And then that's where he reclaims the child, from when he turns him over to the client and the doctor. That's when he goes back and gets him, and then he fights his way out of town. And then number 7 would have been number 2, episode or chapter 2, the child, where his ship and all that stuff got stripped by the Jawas. He had to fight the Mudhorn. That one was okay. Is kind of in my opinion, a little bit of the high peak of chapter 1 ending, and then like chapter 2 is kind of like a quick valley before it came back up for chapter 3. But I mean the cool part in that one was we got our cool little memes or whatever with like Quill, like I have spoken, and this is the way it was brought in, and then just seeing the child using the Force for the first time, stopping that Mudhorn, so he can stab it in the side of the head. And then the last one would be episode 6, The Prisoner. was a good episode. I did enjoy it. I just felt that was the fluffer episode of the first season. I'm not against it in any way. It seemed like it was just like, well, wow, we need like an episode to fill in here real quick, because it really didn't seem like it took the way the season was rolling. It didn't continue like that much. I mean, it showed that he went back and he intermingled with his old crew, and it showed his side chick he had at one time, the Twi'lek, and I mean it, and then it just, I mean, it was cool at the end where they had the X-wings come in, and it showed that I agree with Mike that he does have some kind of morals and a heart, because he could have left that beacon on board of that prisoner ship to let the rest of that crew that he went with get blown up, but he left them on the ship. They'll get found sooner or later. Left the beacon on I can't think of his name off the top of my head, and then they went and they blew him up on that base there, and then that's how that one ended there. It was a cool episode, but I felt it was a filler.
Okay, all right.
And then, yeah, that wraps up my list.
Okay.
So, all right, well, two things I got from that were, Trevor, did you write down his list also, or?
Yeah, I did, and I just like to point out that it's identical to yours, except you swap the 4th and 5th spot with chapters 5 and 4. Sanctuary and the Gunslinger, but everything else is identical.
Yeah, well, I noticed that too. We have the exact same, except for our 4 and 5 are switched, so that's pretty interesting there.
Yep, both 4 and 5 in ranking and in chapter.
Yeah, so that's pretty. I don't know if I'm going to say weird or not, but me and Charlie Skywalker had ours. Were very, very similar. I think we not as similar as mine and Kylo's, but mine and Charlie's were when he gets back on here. He's on his way home now, and sometime, depending on what he's doing, he'll get back on or he'll come in the chat. We can ask him for his numbers so we can get those. But something I just thought about too, like chapter 6, we both had that as our last one. And you said he could have left the beacon on there for them to blow up
on the prisoner ship,
the ship. But instead he uses it to have them blow up Bobby from the Son of Anarchy, his ship.
Yeah, Rand's hangar of sorts.
Yeah,
Rand. So why did he choose their ship instead of the other one? Couldn't he have dropped that fob or the beacon anywhere along the way and just kind of had them be on a wild goose chase and never find them? Or was it because they, I mean, the questions I came up with are like answers in my head where, is it because they double crossed him and the other guys weren't really double crossing them? Well, they did double cross them.
Well, they were just doing their job. They were doing their job. They were assigned a job. So but the guy from Sons of Anarchy double crossed them, and that's why he took the beacon and slipped it on what's his name and let the X-wings come after him rather than blow up the people who were only following orders.
And then we also have, or was it that the Twi'lek brother was so bad or a bad person that it didn't really matter and he just deserved to die anyways? Could that be a possible scenario? Because we don't know why he was left behind. He was in prison because of the Mandalorian, and we don't know why the Mandalorian left him behind. Was it kind of like a thing where if you're not here at the time we leave, we're not waiting for you? Or did the Mando just kind of set him up because he was such a bad person that he didn't want to, he shouldn't be in society anymore? So I guess we can go back to here. Go back to this one.
Okay. Yes.
Go back to that now.
Okay. Okay, well that is
So
an interesting
those are my questions about that, and also
okay. So I mean, if you
that was
if you
something.
like
See,
me to
now
answer
that's like something. But real quick, Trevor, you said you weren't sure if us discussing this season or each episode as it gets closer, how anything would change. That's something that all the podcasts I listen to, I didn't hear anybody bring up, and I haven't thought about, until right now. I was going to get another Coke while he was saying that, he brought the tracker back there, and then, well, why did he choose that group over this group? So that, I mean, that's there's always there's going to be stuff over us watching that we're going to pick up, and we just write down our notes, we talk about it, and we throw them together at the before the season begins, and that gives us a little bit of something to think about.
Yeah.
But all right, yeah.
Well,
so go ahead and answer some of that.
Okay, well, I'd answer my reasoning for that. So basically, whenever the prisoner itself is just asking Mando, you killed them, didn't you? And then he said, well, they got what they deserved. Meaning they're now in that prison cell with all the, with the other prisoners that we saw, throughout the chapter. So then he takes, them back because that's his job. Like he's going to get paid, and that's kind of his thing for it. And so now his buddy, that he spent a lot of time with, Rand, like he orchestrated the whole betrayal. Like he orchestrated the whole thing, and he knew that, hey, I'm going to take this person back. I'm going to go the no questions asked. That's the policy, right? And get my money. But I know he's going to come after me like immediately after. He's going to, I feel like that's what the Mandalorian was like. If he betrayed me now, he's going to try to betray me again or just get rid of me. So that's why I'm going to put this beacon strapped on to this prisoner, and then it's going to, and he was kind of right. Like, at least that's my mentality, is he was right, because he just launched another ship and is like, kill him. And then New Republic comes in at just the right time to squash that idea and obliterate his whole hangar of sorts. So that's what I have to say of that. But I can't stay for too much longer, but I do want to talk at least a little bit about Chapter 1, because that's the other biggest disparity between my rankings and yours. And both of yours is that you both had it at Chapter 1 is your favorite, whereas I had it at my 5th favorite compared to, so that's the second biggest disparity. But if you have anything else to say.
Well, here,
go ahead, Mike.
On my notes, from what I can have, let's see, from what I can read, because well, Baby Yoda's number one. The Baby Yoda reveal is the big thing. That's why, and that's what brought, like I was saying, that was the big one that brought non Star Wars people into the Mandalorian. Because that was the thing. How are they going to get people that don't watch Star Wars and don't like Star Wars and have this preconceived notion of Star Wars? Game of Thrones, after a couple seasons, is up and running as the biggest, best TV show because people don't have any preconceived notions about it, except maybe they're not going to watch it from the previews because it doesn't look good until everybody else starts talking about it. And it takes a season or two for it to really take off. I don't have the numbers by me or whatever, so I can't really tell you what they look like, or who was subscribing to Disney or HBO or whatever. But Baby Yoda, after episode 1, everybody was talking about it. So that was their way. You had the flute guy from like when Willy Wonka plays the flute, and it pulls up to take them all into the chocolate factory. It's the same thing, same feeling, and that's what a lot of people were saying. That's what it gave them. The idea of, it's the first time we hear about a chain code, as far as I know. What's a chain code? The first time in canon I've heard anything about it. It was just setting the ground, letting us know what was up. We have Apollo Creed sitting there. We have Calamari Flan. So we have, we have some seafood and some dessert put together for payment. I don't know what that says. That introduced us to the Ugnaught, and we had, we have Gary Busey on there. And I have spoken, and that gives us the first thing. Everybody on Twitter walking around, and people in, you hear people in real life saying, "I have spoken." Somebody.
I've used it a few times.
There was another podcaster that was running a meeting, and I think it was after. It would have been after chapter 3. He ended the meeting at the end of the meeting when it was over. He said, "I have spoken." And out of the group of people that were in the meeting, I don't know if he said it was like 15 or 50 or whatever it was, or somewhere in between. Out of that whole group, only one person said, "This is the way." And he's like, "Okay, I like this person now." Whether other people got it or not and didn't want to say anything, or who knows? But I mean, it started, the phenomenon of everything. And just, I mean, so much, so many firsts in there. The first time we have the bathroom in there, and the refresher, and whatever they call the sucker tube, because he was molting, and what do his glands? How, are we going to find out about the glands somehow? Maybe in the visual dictionary when the Mandalorian comes out, and we find out about the glands, and just so many things.
Okay, so I will say, I really enjoyed chapter 1, but compared, to the episodes I had above it, it, like chapter 7, 3, 8, and 6, it's just a little bit behind. I think a lot of it, I think some reason would be just on that Mithril, blue guy that, I feel like he felt too much like a character from the Orville. I don't know if you've ever seen that show, but it just felt more like that than like Star Wars, how he was just saying, "Oh, it's true, you never take off your helmets. Oh, let me go find this bathroom, find, equivalent of a bathroom," sort of thing. I don't know. He was just a little bit too annoying, I guess. I did really like how, he said that, well, I was hoping to be free. Well, I was hoping to, see my family for Life Day, but I guess that's not going to happen this year. And then Mandalorian says probably not, and then throws him right into, the freezing chamber of carbonite. So I did enjoy that part, but also like the blurg sequence, I don't know, seemed just a tad unnecessary. It's like, did he really have to get the blurg to go to that outpost that's guarded by all those raiders of sorts? Because like after that, like in the beginning of chapter 2, we don't see him with the blurg anymore or anything like that. He just walked back on foot to the Razor Crest, and that's when the Jawas appeared of sorts. And I'm like, then how come he didn't have the blurg there, sort of thing? I don't know. I mean, it's minor stuff, but I think just a couple of those things made the reckoning, made redemption, and the sin and prisoner a little bit higher for me than this one. But I don't know.
It's all good. It's all good reasoning behind it. I mean, I understand your point. I don't dispute it. I mean, those are all good reasons. I mean, that's why I guess we all have our own opinions. But then we all have our own opinions, but we still all agree that, hey, you know what? Yeah, that was great. That was a good part.
I mean, especially just
not like, no, chapter one or chapter this was horseshit. No, you cannot say that was in the top 7. It has to be ranked 10 out of 8. No, we're not like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I know.
Chapter 4 and 6 ruined my childhood. I want those remade. There's only 6. Not my Mandalorian. My Mandalorians 1 through 3, 5, and 7 and 8.
Sorry, this is an HBO.
Okay, but yeah, that, and then just like the last 12 minutes of chapter 1. I don't really have any issues with that because you have IG-11 there. You have Mandalorian just shooting a bunch of those raiders, and the dialogue with thermal detonator and stuff. That's just fantastic. And like you said, the reveal was fantastic. Like it was a great reveal. But I guess just the stuff leading up to that, like that showdown, just a little bit of issues here or there, but still, like amazing stuff all around.
And then really quick, while we're talking, we had a couple things come in. Charles asked me if I've watched all the episodes already, and then rewatched them with commenting. That's what, before you got in here, I've watched them all. I've done a review on 1 through 7 with Michael Pappas. That's our Coach's Corner that we've put up. I still have a couple more to post that have been recorded, and we haven't recorded number 8 yet. That's what I was talking to Trevor about, that before the next season comes out, right before Trevor and I can record our thoughts on episodes 1 through 8 again. However we decide to do it, and see what changes we have from our list now to what comes out, and if we get any ancillary material, and whatever it is. There's comments on there by Mr. Rez that we don't read.
Sorry, Mr. Rez.
Or Mr. Rez.
And I need to, before we go any further on this, I need to thank and let everyone know that this episode of the TooMedToo's Bacta tank is brought to you by Mr. Rez and Chris. So we don't talk to Mr. Rez. We don't like Mr. Rez, but we'll take his money because we're red-blooded Americans, and that's how we do.
Apparently,
and Chris from Kentucky. That is, I should say. Those are my.
How is that, Chris? From where?
Kentucky.
Oh, it's I must have had like a lag or something, because it sounded like you said something else, like Kentucky or Kentucky or something like that.
I may have, but you never know.
Okay. Well, Michael or Kilo Customs, or if I'm even saying that right. Well,
sure.
Do either of you have any final questions or any other things you want to say before I head out?
No. Enjoy your game.
Yeah.
When next time you're on,
I got it right there.
If you give me a little notice, I have some questions for you. Some trivia. We'll do a little trivia back and forth. I heard the questions. I heard the questions you did for. See, this is what's not fucking fair. I hear the questions that you do on the Scarif podcast.
Yeah.
And you give Dominic Pace, and I got all of them right. Oh no, I missed one of them. I should say, and I missed
which one?
I don't remember.
Okay.
I was walking the dog when I heard it, and I was like, "Oh, I know this one. Oh, I know this one." And I was like, "Oh my god, I can't believe you don't know that one." And then I thought, I was like, "Well, the ones he gave me, I thought were hard as hell, and other people that were probably watching or listening probably thought they were easy as hell." So it just all depends on what you catch us with on a day. But basically, no, what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna pull up from my Trivial Pursuit and just read a couple to you, and see how you do with those. But we won't do that today. We'll let you get to your game.
All right.
And enjoy that.
Yeah, I know. 21-17 right now. LSU's up by 4, so
should
be very exciting. But all right, then, take care. And
all right, brother, have a good one.
May the Force be with you.
May the Force be with us all. All right, peace. All right, so and then Charles said Bacta spray too. That was the first thing we were introduced into Bacta spray, as far as I know. The first thing that we got. Everyone likes your points that you're bringing up. Mr. Jello stopped by. Charles is afraid of Willy Wonka. Are you afraid of the original Willy Wonka? Are you still afraid of it, or is it the new one that you're afraid of, Charles? Because the new one's kind of scary. We have Ariel Sanchez stop by. Hi, Ariel. Ariel is my friend from work. I don't know if she's still here or not. She just stopped by to say hello, probably because hashtag support. That's what it's all about. And let's see. I know Charles asked me another question that I saw. But my dog just farted. It's really fucking bad, man. But
At least
dude, and you've seen my dog. She's like 10 fucking pounds. Like, what's up with that?
10 pounds farts like a 400-pound man. Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Charles wants to know something about a venereal disease for the Mandalorian. I don't know if there's any venereal diseases for the Mandalorian coming anytime soon. He says, is there a VD for the Mandalorian? I mean, I don't know.
Yeah. Coming, I don't know. I mean, maybe that Twi'lek disease, because his side chick from episode or chapter, was it 6?
Yeah, man, I'd like to go into the healing baths with her for a little while. But no, he was actually, I was talking about the visual dictionary. And I haven't heard anything about a visual dictionary yet. I don't know if there's going to be a visual dictionary. Like I said, they did the visual dictionary for episode 1, episode 2, and episode 3. And then they did, when 3 was done, sometime after that, I'd have to look at the copyright on it. They did 1 through 3 as a visual dictionary or encyclopedia or whatever it's called. But someone remind me later on in the week, or not right now because I don't feel like going to look at it. And see if there's a difference and what they have, and the individual ones 1 through 3 and the one that they put together, because I know, like, with one of the books that I got, I don't know if it was the droid book or it was something that I had, and everything's the same that it was, and like goes through character wise, but there's a couple differences when they give descriptions, explanations, but the characters are pretty much the same through the book. They just have some extra things added into there. Because I pulled out the book and I was like, let's see what the difference. Pretty much the same, just yeah. So whatever. I don't know what I was talking about anymore. Anyways, Star Wars, yeah. But let's see. What else happened in Star Wars this week? I really got to start writing shit fucking down, because even though I like to keep it kind of, loose and non-formal, there's always stuff I want to talk about, and I always forget what it is. So if anybody else knows what we should be talking about, let me know.
I didn't see or hear anything new.
Can I make a suggestion? My friend just made this Star Wars fan film. He's an animator. It's called Star Wars Last Stand. Have you heard of it? It just came out. It's like a 1.5-minute short film it's an animated film on YouTube, and it just went over like 1.5 million views. It's been doing really well, but I don't know if people have seen it.
No.
I thought of you.
Yeah. No. I'll talk to you later about it and see if I can. I'll watch it. See if I can get him on. We'll do a little talking or whatever. He's probably too big for me, to talk to. But well, I guess there's a new Star Wars short that just came out. That I'm gonna have to watch, and I'll put the link up, and so that we can watch it and talk about it next week, and I'll see what this guy is up to. Maybe he can come on and talk to us about it. But yeah, it's 1.5 minutes short. So yeah, that's what I got now. So Yeah.
So
Charles says Jar Jar and Kenobi.
in the Kenobi series?
Yeah. I know Jason Ward did a video on that, but I have not watched it yet. I went to go watch it, and I was getting on the train, and YouTube, I don't get really good reception a lot of times, so I just never went back to watching it. So I don't really know about that. That's something that I missed. So let's see. I know I wrote down. Nope. I thought I wrote down notes, but I didn't save them.
Well, hey, Nick, are you in the? If you're in the chat, put a message in there, because if you're here, I want to talk to Mike about that question.
Nick said a little while ago, 6 minutes ago, Nick was in here.
Let's see, because if he isn't, he puts it down, because I was going to address something me and him talked about. All right, he says he's here. Okay. So,
yeah, just really quick. Yeah, the Jar Jar thing. I just saw. I think the thumbnail had Jar Jar with a beard on, and then a couple other people were running. I saw a couple other articles where people talking about Jar Jar being in Kenobi, but I haven't looked into that. I think that was just this weekend that it happened. So I'm a day or two behind on that one. But okay, sorry. We have a question or something going on, I guess.
Yeah, it's like a question, something that we discussed that we're gonna but at Christmas time, if there's gonna be a live, but I think that was like Christmas Eve was Monday, so you didn't have a live at that point, and then it kind of like slipped our mind. Couple things. One that I brought up to him, end of Rise of Skywalker. All right, guys, this is out of spoiler territory. It's been about a month now. When Palpatine was saying he wanted Rey to strike him down so he can embody her, for her to become the Empress of the Sith. Now, she did kill him. Did he embody her, like his entity go into her, as he says he was going to do? And if so, that would mean, of course, Kylo brings her back to life with what my daughter blurted out in the theater as a big loud ew when they kissed in the movie, and he died. So if the Emperor embodies Rey like he said he was going to do, like when they first encountered, he wanted her to become the Empress of the dark side. If that is so she's dark, for say, we'll just say for hypothetically she's dark, just not on this point. If she is dark, who, and Nick brought up the point, would be Finn, would be her balancing on the light side. What do you think about that? If she were to, if the Emperor embodied her like he said he was going to do. Now, she's Force sensitive. The Force has to be within balance, according to the story, that we know the whole way through. It's had to have some kind of balance. But if she's technically that way, if she's got to be one way or the other, how is the Force in balance if she's dark side or light side? Who's her counter?
No. Because she did not strike him down in anger. If she would have used her lightsaber to strike him down to save her friends, even though she was doing something good, there was still a bit of hatred in her heart for him So he did not. So if it would have happened that way, I think you'd be on a better track. But with
Or did she kill him by like out of anger and protecting her friends? Is when she blasted him back with his own electric, his Sith lightning. Wasn't it about the same way though? Since she
because she was defending herself, and she was reflecting it back onto him, kind of like what happened when he was shooting it at oh my god, I can't think of his name right now. What the hell happened to his name?
Mace Windu.
Yeah, when Mace Windu was deflecting it, so Mace Windu wasn't on the attack. When she was deflecting the lightning back at him, she wasn't on the attack. She was just reflecting it. Kind of like, and I mean, this just come off the top of my head, but kind of like in judo. Judo is mostly, there's not a lot of attacking in judo. Almost, no attacking in judo. It's using the other person, their moves against them. So I think like judo is probably one of the most defensive martial arts. I mean, yes, of course, there's attacking in it because you'd have to have someone attack in judo, otherwise they would just both stand there. But so she was using his attack against him. But yeah, so I mean, if she would have, when she put her hand back to do, to strike him down and grab her lightsaber before she actually dropped it for Kylo, then then if she would have killed him, it would have been her plan. That's why the people that are saying, oh, well, he won, Palpatine won, in the end because she still killed him. No, he would have won if she would have killed him then, and struck him down, the way that it was, he wanted to, and the sacrifice when he was, saying his little chant and the ritual, and whatever it was, if she would have done it that time, that would have been, the end for him to, to get all up in her shit or whatever. But with the way it went down, it went down so that he ended up being defeated, and she ended up staying good or whatever it is.
So then, since she's still like a light side, then we don't know who her counterbalance would be then. Technically, right? You think?
No, and we don't necessarily know, yet, or how the whole counterbalance thing works, because you have a yin and yang, but is there always a yin and yang? And it's always, in flux, because for how many thousands of years or 1,000 years, the Sith were extinct or thought to be extinct, and you had thousands of Jedi and only 2 Sith. Well, the last, whatever after Bane. There is, so it's like there obviously there was not an even point on that one. Does so how does it actually work where you had Freddie Prinze Jr. when he went on his rant and he said, now you have 2, that's why the Force created the twins, and whatever it was, because there was 2, now that we have twins to equal it out. I don't think the Force is necessarily cause and effect immediately. I think that eventually we will have to have evil again or bad come in. But we'll have to see. And if Rey isn't a Jedi, and we go more along the lines of now, you can't have gray Jedi. You're either Sith or Jedi, but she can still be a Force user. That's possibly a way around that too. If there's no more Sith and no more Jedi and just Force users, that way you have a balance. That's your balance. You don't have a yin and a yang anymore.
Right.
And we have Andy joined us. And he's saying hi to everybody in here. Andy just sent me a message. So every you can always go to the YouTube page and hook up from there to get on the chat and let me know you want to get on if you want to come on. But to come on, like to be on where I am, where we are right now on the screen, it's a different code every time, so that I can invite different groups of people and other people can't get on and don't have to regulate like that. But Andy said striking down with righteous anger is different than striking down with hatred. So that's kind of along those lines. But that's just kind of where my viewpoint is on it. Like where Darth Vader kills the Emperor, or whatever happened to him then, we still know if he died then or not. I've said before, he says he's died before, but did he die then? Or did he already know how not to die? We don't know when. We don't know how old he was.
Right.
So we have stories and stuff. I'm trying to think, and you have Plagueis that talks about him, but Plagueis technically isn't canon, and I don't think they actually give a time on that where.
Where you going? Do me a favor.
I don't think they actually give a time frame on that. Andy, I sent you the link. I'll just put it on here. It doesn't matter. That should be the link to get you on. I don't really get any trolls in here. So the few times I did have trolls when I first started, Rural Farm Boy kicked him out real quick, or so that should bring Andy on. He's got a question for us.
Cool.
But I need to do this real quick. Let's see this here. That's really good. I'm sitting here going talking to myself while I'm doing this. No, so I have to use my. I get questions in my laptop before. It's backwards sometimes. Sometimes, even though I'm watching StreamYard and StreamYard's ahead of
Good night.
YouTube, sometimes YouTube goes and all right, so I had my computer plugged in and the screen was lower. I just unplugged it and it got brighter. That's kind of weird. But so okay. All right, now Andy's coming on. Andy had a question. And see, this is what And here is Andy, everyone.
What's up, Andy?
Hey, I'm a little late to the party, but you know, things that I'm still sorting out in my head too. I read yesterday where we go to film Rise of Skywalker. It's said that and Ben being the dyad that they are, being the rare connection, they have the ability to manipulate time, and they have done so with space, being able to together across the galaxy, but they have not yet, or at least shown that they haven't been able to manipulate. And if that or to still be around and be alive and be together, or however you want.
Who wants to go first? Do you talk first?
Do I talk first? You talk first? Who talks first? Okay, no, I was doing a Poe Dameron thing. Actually, I also have something to add on to that too, because I remember in the Last Jedi, Snook said that he was the one that orchestrated those visions and the communication between Rey and Kylo. So I'm still kind of thrown off on this Force dyad, since all those communications were orchestrated by, at that point we knew, was Snoke. But now we know Snook was just Palpatine's puppet, more or less. So I'm still kind of confused on that aspect of how that would be, even them even being a Force dyad, since it was orchestrated by somebody else, or unless him making that connection created the Force dyad between the two of them. For the space in between the two of them, yeah, they were able to physically touch on Octu in Luke's hut, or in Rey's hut, little house thingy, when Luke walked in and seen that was happening. I don't know about there being able to be time, because I know that the distance thing has been able to been done, because that's how they knocked Vader's helmet off of that little podium, and it landed at his feet when he was still on the planet. She was up on his capital ship. But I don't know, Mike. I don't know about the time part of the question. I don't see how that is yet. There was really no time difference, unless they go upon the part where where Leia used Han. Maybe that could be part of the time manipulating aspect of it, where she's able to use that scene or that part against Kylo again. Maybe. I mean, that's the only thing I could think of.
Well, I think we have the World Between Worlds, and I haven't sat down and read the entire visual yet. I've skimmed through it a bunch of times, just really quick, and stopped at a page and read that page, and then I need to do it, because I have just my three right now that I have. I have the visual guide. I have this guy, which is really fucking cool, and I have that one too that I all got recently. Well, the one isn't too recently, but Andy said that he thinks his kid jumped on the iPad, so it killed his Wi-Fi. But no worries, dude. That's what this whole thing's about. Just you got a question, just hop on, talk to us for a minute or two, and hop off, or stay for as long as you want. I mean, if 10 people stopped in and gave me a question or whatever, that would make me as happy as having a couple people that are on here the whole time, because that's it's all it's like a round table, think tank, bar hop, whatever the fuck gonna call it. But yeah, so I mean, I don't know if I haven't gotten to that part of or read that page of the. I'm gonna do that before the next chat. So my homework. I did my Mandalorian rewatch for this episode or whatever. I'm gonna read the visual dictionary. I got tomorrow off, so I'll read the dictionary tomorrow. Now I say that, but who knows what's gonna happen? I got a video at it, and maybe I'll spend 3 hours trying to do a fucking thumbnail again and just put blockheads on people because I can't figure out how to do it after 3 hours. Yeah, so you have the world between worlds, which brings into if that can work, and they figured out how to do the sharing thing, dyad, and changing space, and whatever it is. They figured out how to do that, and don't trip over that. Careful. No, do you want to come say hi to everybody? You could be be as famous as me. My girlfriend just got home, so I walked by. So
usually the girlfriends and the kids become more famous than we do, and they just like pop in hi, and then they're like superstars, and we're just a couple nerds on the couch.
Yeah, pretty much. That's usually how it is. But yeah, so like we got they didn't know how to do the force touching thing. And so that's why they needed Snoke to do it for them. Then they did know, or they figured out how to do it, from whatever it was, either through each other. What's wrong? Come here. I know mommy came home and ruined our time recording. It's okay. We need our mommy here though. So they grew in the force, and the more they grew in the force, the more they grew together in the force. And they might not have even known what they were doing until, or that they didn't. I should say, I don't think they knew what they were doing or knew they could do it until it happened in the beginning of the movie, or that they could do it to each other. Until it happened in the beginning of the movie, and then they knew how to do it. But they both had to be willing participants in it. It couldn't just be one doing it to the other. Like when Kylo shows up in her room with no shirt on, and she's like, "Oh, could you put a shirt on?" or whatever. They couldn't really do that to each other with the dyad part. They both had to be willing participants for it, which probably caused a conflict, because as the dyad, they're polar opposites, or the yin and yang, however you want to put it, because if you actually get into it, yin and yang aren't opposite. They're part of a whole. So that's just more nerd stuff that we could talk about at a different time. I'm pretty sure that's how it goes. They're not really, but whatever. With the time thing, the force works in weird ways, and that's why you have certain planets that time is different and time changes, like Dagobah. That's why, and I mean, I'd have to actually grab the books and look this up and try and find the correct answer, more proof or definition, whatever it is. But Luke was only on Dagobah for a short period of time, but on Dagobah he was there for much longer. Like if you were going to take calendar wise, because time slows down there, so that his I'm just making these numbers up. His 2 weeks that were there was really like 2 months, or whatever it works out to be.
Right.
So it's not like a difference, and you have standard days, or however they do the however they do it now. But it's like time actually slows down. So right now it's an hour at my house is a week at your house. The way it goes. So there's some other parts, other planets like that they talk about and deal with. So time's something they really haven't dealt with that much, except for the World Between Worlds, which brings into Ahsoka and what happens with Ahsoka. And everyone saying Ahsoka's dead because they heard her voice. And my first thought was, well, just because they heard her voice, first of all, she's not a Jedi, unless we find out she went back to being a Jedi at some point. And second of all, she spent time in the World Between Worlds. She may have learned something in the World Between Worlds that, being outside of that dimension, she's still able to talk about or manipulate or whatever she wants to do. That's fine. Yeah. Okay, then you. Where do you want to go? You want daddy or you want mommy? Come here. Well, she doesn't know what to do. She wants daddy, but mommy has food.
But mommy just got home too, so mommy has food and just got home. Mommy will probably win.
No, daddy won.
Oh,
come here, baby.
Daddy's girl.
Yep. Oh, she really is. Who knows? It might only last for a minute or two, and then she'll decide food takes over. But so like that was my whole thing. Everybody's, Ahsoka's dead. We have proof.
Please tell her when Daddy won, because I closed the door. You didn't win.
Our love is not a competition. I love my dad more.
3,000. He loves you, or she loves you 3,000.
I don't know if you heard her. She said that I didn't win. She closed the door on her. She closed the door on her. She closed the door on her because she walked away.
No.
If you're gonna talk, you need to be on camera. Those are the rules. Yeah, I don't know what I was saying. Yeah, so so she was able to manipulate it in some way, like that. That was, what I was saying is, I don't think they're gonna tell us Ahsoka's dead with 3 words or however many fucking words it was, in the movie. They're gonna show us or give it to us, or more of a way. Especially if they're gonna kill her off, somehow. See, I don't know, because you got Rebels 2 coming out, and you have the Clone Wars coming out. So once again, to kill her off, or for us to find out that she's dead in the movie, doesn't make a lot of sense money wise. And if it was George Lucas writing it, that would be a different story, because he's going to say, fuck the money, this is how the story goes. Right. Disney's going to say, which goes against everything I just said earlier about Baby Yoda. But they decided not to make the money to make the story better, but they can make their money back on Baby Yoda. They know that. They kill off Ahsoka, they can't do any more Ahsoka stories. Well, they can, her time in between, but you know what I'm saying, like, without me sitting here
it's not fair to any of us either, without them saying, oh, well, she's dead, without them giving her like a proper, like, on screen, rather it's animation, or even if she pops up in The Mandalorian and she dies there, her character, they need to do a proper like death, like a proper send off. If they're gonna say she's dead for that little voice scene in at the end of Rise of Skywalker, then if she's dead, then they need to do her justice and kill her character off properly rather than just saying, "Oh, she's dead."
But they never said
like that.
That's the whole. That's the whole point. They never said she was dead. People are assuming she's dead because the other people that we heard were dead Force ghosts. There's no.
Also Jedi too, but she's also or was a Jedi at the one time. We don't know in this next season as she goes back to as a being a Jedi. You don't see the thing is Luke was a Jedi, but in the Rise of Skywalker, Luke was dead. Leia by that point of the movie, dead. No other known Jedi that I can think of that would even still be alive at that point, whose voice I heard was still alive, except for hers. Which even in that point, she might have been able to, at that where she's reaching out to all the light side or all the Jedi who from before or at the current time, all be with me, or I forget exactly how she said it or whatever. But when she's reaching out to them, it could have reached out to any Jedi that was still alive too, and that's when Ahsoka could have said it. So I mean, I think she probably still is, but I don't know how her species ages because she's God damn it, was it is she Twi'lek too?
No, she's not Twi'lek.
Twilight. But we don't know how her species ages. It could be kind of, I mean, I know it's not a quote unquote whatever species Yoda is, where he can live 900 years. But,
I will. All right. I need to make. Someone needs to remind me of my notes. Tomorrow. I need to read the visual dictionary at least once and take notes. And I need to find out as much information as I can about. I mean, I'm sure I could just hit up Wikipedia instead of pulling out all my books, but it'll be more fun with the books, or maybe finding out on Wikipedia than using the books as ancillary material to try and point it out. But that's the reason for having the books. And I got a bunch of more books coming off of Amazon. I got a gift card for Amazon for Christmas, and I'm using that for a couple. I got the one book is pretty sweet. I know I talked about it before. I think it's like a $200 book, and I got it for like $30. And it says it's in good condition. So I'm like, all right, we'll see. There's a couple. But then I like some of the like the cheaper books. I'm inclined to spend more money on those to get better condition ones, just because I mean, if I can get a $200 book for $30 and it's still in halfway decent condition, that's good. I think it's not canon anymore. I think it's from 2007 or 2010 or whatever. But it's Pablo Hidalgo book, so it's still gonna be good. Use that as, even though it's Legends material for proving points or whatever, it's still whatever. But there's a couple other books that I got that were, they're $25 or $30, and it's $19 for very good condition. It's like, okay, it's $10 off, and it's going to be fine. There's not going to be writing on it. It's just like I left it laying around for a while. But it's so I got a bunch of books coming in for that, so I got some more stuff to open up and some more stuff to add to the reading pile. But yeah, like the one book was $1.49, and I went to go buy it, and the shipping on it was $4.99. And I was like, I'll wait for another day when I'm not, have another $100 worth of books ordered. But that's where a lot of my books coming from Amazon, and like they come from the Goodwill through Amazon or whatever other bookstores there are. A lot of them I get for really, really cheap. But not that $6 for the book is a lot, but I didn't, I saw it for $1.49, and I was like, yeah, I'll take that for $1.49. That sounds good. And that ends up being $6 or $7, which isn't really that bad. But when you put in 4 or 5 books that are supposed to be $1 or $2, and then you find out it's $5 and $6 for shipping and handling. That's a big difference between $20 and $80 when you're trying to get some stuff. But yeah, so I have some goodies coming in. And we have Raven. Raven stopped in to say hello. Raven knows what time to come in. She doesn't need to be here to hear all the bullshit. She just wants to come in and see what kind of toys I got this week, or that I'm opening this week. People are starting to catch on. Yeah, so I mean that's where the Ahsoka thing, that's where I stand on that. That was my first thing when everyone started, oh, she's dead. It's like, just because we heard her voice doesn't mean she's dead. She's one of the people we know have been in World Between Worlds and left there. So even without going into what's going to happen in Clone Wars, and we don't know what's going to happen in Rebels 2 yet, which is, I guess, the only thing we really have to call it is Rebels 2. So I'm surprised James didn't stop by. James usually stops by. I don't know if James is watching or not. Maybe he'll catch it tomorrow on the replay. But I usually know when James stops by for a second or two. But he was, I know, I heard through the grapevine he had some stuff going on today. So, Patreon and whatnot after the earlier one. So, yeah, I mean, so and then we have Dave Filoni posting the cartoon. Kylo, you're not on Twitter, are you? Or you don't participate in Twitter that often?
Not that often. I mean, I probably should get back to it, but I probably will. Your
mental health is better without being on there, but you also miss a lot of Star Wars shit. So, it's kind of a catch-22. You deal with all the shit and stay caught up, or let your mental health. I've started to not talk to people on Twitter as much and just kind of let more shit go, but it's taken me a year of that. Like even on Facebook the other day, somebody posted a medical question, and I don't want to get into it now about what it was, but it was like, is this even worth it? And posted the question. It's like, dude, you're a fucking idiot for even like what your point you're trying to use to prove something has absolutely nothing to do with anything that you're trying to use it for. So, I was just like, yeah, I'm not even going to say anything because that's just going to start a whole thing. I was like, dude, I know you're not that stupid to think that, but, so it's just, I don't know. It's one of those things where you just want to tell people how stupid they are and slap them in the face. And it's a lot easier to say you're stupid and slap them in the face on Twitter. But then that just starts a whole thing where, it's harder not to type something than it is to type something. But I deal
with a bunch of that garbage on Instagram too, and it's just like, come on.
Yes, yeah.
So I take a lot of shots, and then sometimes I give a few back, and
I see that. I go on Instagram, and I go on Instagram a couple times a day at most, but it's for 20 seconds or 30 seconds, and I scroll through, and I'm like, oh, those are nice pictures. I like a couple, and I'm done. So nothing like I spend the time on Twitter or whatever. So you and I are kind of opposites on that. But Dave Filoni comes out with a cartoon the next day, or a couple days later, whatever it was, on Christmas or the day after Christmas, with Gandalf, and said the cartoon was Gandalf and Ahsoka, and Gandalf says to Ahsoka, "Everyone thought I was dead too." So is that, then that's another thing for interpretation. Is she dead because we heard her voice? Does she die but come back as a Force ghost? People are taking it as a religious view because even though it wouldn't be Christmas time that Jesus is coming back from the dead, it would be better. It'd be work better off at Easter. So it's just one of those things. It's like, Dave Filoni's not going to post something like that if he doesn't want to curb everyone thinking that Ahsoka's dead. even though we still have at least 2 seasons of Ahsoka coming. Well, I don't know how much she's in Clone Wars, and we don't know what Rebels 2 is, but I got to think that Rebels 2 is going to be what most people are talking about with Ahsoka and Sabine going to try and find Ezra and Thrawn. Or who knows what it is. It could really be anything. But yeah, so I'm going to make my list right now. There was a question on there. Nick said something.
Where is it at? Oh, question. So is Rey all the Jedi and all the Sith now? Since Luke says all of the Jedi live in her now, and she killed off Palpatine, all the Sith live in her as well, too? That's actually a really interesting question, I think.
No, I think it goes back to what I was saying before, and the Sith are gone now. There's no more Sith. The Sith no longer exist. So if the Sith were to come back, it would have to be Force users that decide to bring back the Sith.
Well, we have to follow the Sith.
Not even the rule of 2, but bring back the religion. And that could be something in the future, whether it's 5 years or 500 years or 5,000 years. So, wait, what analogy did I make? I don't even know what I was talking about. See, that's the thing. Like, I don't even know what I'm talking about half the time. So people are like, "Oh, that was good." I'll be like, "What was good?" I don't even remember what I said. Yeah. So I don't think.
I think Mr. Rez was talking about when Raven said that Twitter has its moments, and it's also like the Sarlacc pit. True.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Is Boba Fett alive? Did he climb out of the Sarlacc pit, or did he just have his armor spit out and have someone else pick it up? That's going to be for next week's conversation. No, it's not. Who knows what we're going to talk about next week? This is the first week we've ever had.
Do you even have any idea what really happened, though?
No, there's nothing canon. We don't have anything. We don't have anything canon. We have legends, but that's doesn't mean anything.
Or is that him at the end of chapter 5, the gunslinger, and that's his spurs when he goes to the?
Well, we won't.
We suspected,
We won't find out until we get some ancillary material or next season. Oh, see, Mr. Rez is saying that I can't come up with an analogy ever in my life to save myself. So, speak of the devil. I was just talking about Rebel Scum, and I said, I wonder where he is. He usually stops in to say hello, and he hasn't been here tonight.
Says a lot.
And there you go. Yep.
Well,
I think I don't blame people for watching the replay. I don't blame people for watching the replay because do it on fast speed and you get it done in an hour or two instead of 3 hours whenever we stop talking. Because once again we are an hour to an hour and a half past our play time. I always go on.
Last week I had friends like, hey, I heard you were on live stream and you showed like a quick tour of your basement. About what time was that? Because I don't have, it says it's like a 3 or 4 hour stream. I was just like about an hour in. So we got a bunch of people come in and watch like around that and stuck around for a while, but they didn't want to watch the whole 4 hours if it was like 3 minutes like towards the end,
Yeah.
That's
all right. All right, Mr. Rez. Thanks for stopping by. Mr. Rez is taking off. Oh wait, was Mr. Oz saying goodbye, or was he saying goodbye to Rebel Scum? I don't know. I get so confused sometimes on here. I don't even know what's going on.
He might have been saying goodbye to Rebels.
Yeah. So usually Mr. Oz, he's got to stick around to see what I got. He's talking to James because I got some stuff today or this week. Yeah. So we're gonna get into that, I guess, shortly. So yeah, I don't even remember what's going on anymore. Yeah, so like we don't know what happened. We don't have any canon on Boba Fett after the Sarlacc pit, and even his armor. I mean, I could be mistaken. There could be comics that talk about it. His arm, according to the Aftermath trilogy, his armor was spit out of the Sarlacc pit, but we don't know about him. And did he have spare armor? If he did get out of it, that's on Tatooine somewhere, because he has different color armor throughout the movies, which is, where you get into the, all right, let's argue some nerd shit. When did we first see Boba Fett? The correct answer is Empire Strikes Back. But now it's in A New Hope. When Star Wars was made, before it was A New Hope, it wasn't in New Hope. So, that's one of those things. They add Boba Fett into
if you want to get technical, I'll go all the way back. I mean, he was first seen in Attack of Clones storyline.
Okay. Well, he was also in the holiday special. So it's like
he could show up wearing Jango's armor.
Yeah. So I mean, he was a cartoon in the holiday special, but the first movie he shows up in is Empire, but he's retconned into A New Hope, but he's a little kid in Attack of the Clones, but he's also in Clone Wars. So, you got to break it down to, are you talking about movie, originally, retconned, timeline? So I mean, that's where it's all blurred questions. If we were at trivia and that was a trivia question, all of those answers could be considered right, depending on the wording of the question. And is the trivia person giving the quiz a Star Wars trivia person, or are they just a trivia person that's doing Star Wars?
If they're just reading the card, yeah. Because if they're just reading the card, you give one of the answers, you're wrong because it's not what's printed on the back of that card.
Yeah, and I can pull up my phone, and I know that's what happened to the girls on Force Toast a few times when they'd read, they'd give the answer, and the person would be like, "No, you're wrong." And they'd be like, "Well, no, your answer's wrong because here we go." They'd pull out their phones and they'd be like, "Here you go, this is the answer," and they'd have to have their points reversed or whatever it was. But yeah, so that's just one of those things that we could sit here and talk about it for do it all next week and talk about it next week. Whatever we want to, and from a certain point of view, there's no right or wrong answer unless you specify or clarify. The question a little bit better. So I'm just making my list for stuff to do. I got a big honeydew list because I haven't done shit recently. I've been really bad. So my honeydew list is kind of long. What do I need to do? I need to find out about Jar Jar. I need to read some of those books. I got to get a VD.
See if we can find any more information on Ahsoka.
Oh yeah, that was the other one. I don't know.
Like her actual species too, and that might be able to.
We we know her species. I just can't think of the name of it right now. It's I'll
You'll be able to find her.
I'll wake up at 5 o'clock. I mean, I could. I mean, I'm sure if we just Wikipedia'd it, it would come right up. But I'll probably, if I don't look for it tonight, or look at it tonight, I'll wake up at 5 o'clock and I'll be like, oh, that's what it is. Like those memes where the guy's sitting there thinking about stuff, and the girl's like, oh, he must be thinking about another girl, and he's trying to figure out, like some complex thing, like why. Like, is Boba Fett dead or not? He's like listed all these other things, or when was Boba Fett first in Star Wars, and all these little captions come up with every single one of them. He's trying to figure out in himself which one's the right answer.
Right.
Phrasing.
For that time, because you would be thinking about another female, just Ahsoka.
Yes. All right. So my homework list is Jar Jar, VD, catch up on my VD, Ahsoka, and that. There's Mr. Rez. Togruta is her species, and Mr. Rez. What is their lifespan?
That would help.
But I mean, still, even if it's 80 years, I'm calling 80 years average lifespan, and 60 to 70 being still able to function. She's still in that window. Right. So, all right. So I think. Oh, and that cartoon, that minute and a half short.
When you find it, send a link or something so I can watch it too. Like, send a link to that on the Discord or whatever.
Yeah, I'll probably put that up and then see what I can find about it or whatever. I guess it's got 1.5 million views or something like that. And it's from this weekend or from last week or something. So that's pretty good.
Says it's an 82 standard year. 82 years is like the standard lifespan for her species. So.
Okay.
In there, so that's about right.
Yeah.
She'd be what, 60, 70-ish maybe?
I mean, she's the same age as Anakin, so
70s, I think.
I mean,
50s.
How old is so? Yeah, I mean, roughly. So, yeah, I'm trying to do math right now. And I have a lot of different things I'm trying to put in there, to figure out. But yeah, so Luke's 60. She'd be about 80.
Late 70s, yeah, close to 80. So she'd be about close to her life expectancy. So she might be passed on due to old age too.
Yeah.
And one with the Force again.
I just don't think that they're gonna let us know she's dead that way. Or greater things can come from her being dead or whatever. So, I don't really know, but all right. Well, I think that's about all I got for today.
I don't have anything else.
We'll do it.
I just keep looking at the chat, seeing if something pops up, if there's a question or something.
Yeah. So, anything else? I do. I don't do it as good as James does, though. So, we got any more questions for anything? Oh, that's easy. It has to do with refraction and reflection of colors, and whatnot. And
it depends on what world you're in, what the color of the sky is.
Mm-hmm. And what is blue?
Yeah.
How do we know what I see as blue is the same thing you see as blue? We think we know what blue is, but do we really know what blue is? My blue could be your red. Just like the gold dress, blue dress, whatever fuck that shit is.
It looked gold to me. So
yeah, it was gold.
yeah, I went with gold.
Okay, so let's see. We're gonna do the easy ones first.
Hey, merch time, merch time. I'm still here. I'm just not gonna be on camera because I'm gonna run to the other room real quick, but I'll be right back. So give me like a minute.
Okay. Well, while we wait for Kylo to come back, we have a special message. Not from our sponsor, because our sponsor is the one who's decided he can now bust my balls as much as he wants and make me cry at night, but from this guy. Hi, everybody. Don't forget, we have a Patreon page. And every dollar that you give us goes towards buying a camera for Celebration so we can live stream. And I love my dad more than anybody else, so we all saw it. It's proof. Bye. You know, I'm despicable using pets and children to try and get money. But yeah, so all right, so I got my list for my day off tomorrow. Find out some more about Jar Jar, Visual Dictionary. Try and figure some stuff out about Ahsoka. Even though Mr. Ez came through and saved me a little bit on that list, but I'll still try and see what else I can pick up on there. And find out about that new cartoon out. Did anybody else see there's a new minute or 2 minute cartoon? I don't know if tomorrow I can make Solo 2 happen. I mean, I only have that one Disney publicist that I've worked with. But I don't know if she's going to be able to do anything for me. She's going to be able to. Oh, that was weird. That's coming in for a big echo. I don't know who that's from. But all right. So now that.
Okay, I'm back.
Okay. So, as usual, when I open stuff up, we need to preface this with what's the one thing I always announce before I open things up? What don't I collect? I don't collect Funko Pops.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I do.
Yes, you do. I don't.
I got 2 cool ones too, but I'll wait till you're done to show you the 2 they just picked up.
Okay.
Star Wars ones.
So if this is in a box, this is in a bag. So there we go. We got this guy right here.
That's
Kylo Ren, Light and Sound. All right, let's see.
Better if you open it from the bottom.
Oh, sorry, boo boo. I have actually never opened up one of these before. This is the first Funko I've opened.
Usually, like if I open them, because I do like a spinning display for like the videos I do when I review them. I open them from the bottom because in this way, when you put it back in and you sit it back down, you can't even tell that you opened it. Sometimes if you open it from the top, you might bend one of the lips and then it doesn't close right again.
Or your dog can just lay on the box.
Oh yeah, that too.
Boing.
Push his head down. I think, or you. Yeah, there you go. The Kylo one, all he does is his saber lights up, which is really cool. It makes the saber sounds, but he doesn't say anything. Like the Darth Vader one, he just lights a saber, and then the base he's on is the Bespin carbon freeze chamber, like just or like the orange. That lights up, and then he breathes, but that's about it. There's no. I don't think they haven't figured out how to put like phrases in there yet, but they're cool.
So yeah, I got the Darth Vader one, but
yeah, all he does is breathe, and with his saber lights up, so he doesn't say anything.
All right, let's see this. All right, just crackling a lightsaber. Different lightsaber sound. I mean, all right, they're all lightsaber sounds, but
yeah.
Oh, pew 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 pew. So that's 4 different sounds, I think. All right, there's that guy. Yeah, so I was at GameStop let me know this was in, or to let me know my Funkos were in, and I went to go pick them up, and once again, I don't know what the hell they're doing over there, but they told me, oh, we have this one for you, but your other one, someone put out to be sold, so we don't have that. We need to try and find it for you. Give us a few days and we'll contact you. And I was like, I just, I mean, it's a good thing I'm not a collector, or I'm not in, a big rush for it, or it's, anybody's, but, this is now the second time that you've sold my shit that I prepaid for, or put a deposit on. So I would just like to know, what's going on. And it was the manager, and he's like, okay, it's $297 or whatever. So I got this. I put down a $5 deposit, and then paid another $2 for this because he gave me whatever discount for them selling my other one. So that was pretty cool. And then when I was talking to him, I was talking about the Mandalorian ones that are coming out, and I want to get those. But for some reason, when I was there a couple weeks ago, they had the list, like the spreadsheet of what's coming out. When I went this time, they couldn't find the spreadsheet, and the list that they get that's updated weekly with like the pictures on them, they don't have that yet. At the one I was at, they might have a different one. So I have to wait for that. But when I was talking to her, I was like, yeah, the Mandalorian ones, and there's 14 new Mandalorian ones coming out. There's 10 regular ones, and then you guys have an exclusive, and Amazon has an exclusive, Target has an exclusive, and Walgreens has an exclusive. So there's actually 14 coming out. But then I had to correct him and let him know that, or correct myself and let him know that it's actually not 14. It's 15/16 because Barnes & Noble's has an IG-11 Mandalorian 2-pack.
2-pack, yeah.
But it's not worth getting because the only difference is like there's a stripe on IG-11 that isn't on the regular IG-11, and there is the same thing with the Mandalorian. So it's like there's no reason to get that, and it's $25 or whatever instead of you're paying extra $5 for the two of them because it's in a 2-pack, instead of being cheaper. There's no reason to buy it because it's kind of a rip-off. You get one little line of paint on it or whatever. So there it is, the one that I wasn't gonna spend the money on to get. Oh, you can't see.
Well, I heard that the eyes on the IG are or his head's turned, and his eyes are different on that figure that they're marked on the front. These look slightly different. If you have the single regular one and that one, you might want to look at it. From what I understand, the eyes on him are different than on the regular solo pop.
Yeah.
Pop.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. I think the
Mandalorian has a different shade to his cape, or he's wearing a different cape or something. It's
and his something about his gun's different, I think, or yeah. So I picked up those two bad boys after I sat there and told the guy there's no reason to get it or to do it. I left there and I called. I called them. I called Barnes and Nobles because it was. I mean, you know, I don't know, a couple blocks away. I think it's like, it was like 15. It's like 15 city blocks away, and I didn't want to walk there and not have it, so I called there, and she's like, "Oh, she put me on hold for a couple minutes." I started walking there just in case they had it, and she's like, "Yeah, I have it for you. I have one." And I was like, "Okay," and I went and got it, and they had a bunch. She had brought up all of them that they had, or she had them behind the counter and didn't know that it was there. And the first one she gave me, the box was like really ripped up, and I was like, "Can I see the other two?" I was like, "I'm sorry, I'm a big nerd. I'm leaving them in the box." And the other one was kind of messed up, and this one's pretty much, you really can't consider it mint. It wouldn't be mint if you tried to have it graded. But yeah, so that's that. And then should we do some more pops since we're on pops right now?
Yeah, yeah. Might as well just stay on the pop
Okay.
pop topic.
All right, somebody vote 1 or 2. All right, the first person in the chat to vote 1 or 2 wins, and they win what I'm going to open. We got nobody voting. Nobody here. Is it 1?
Yeah, we'll just go with 1.
Okay. Well, that's the one that's in my hand right now. It was going to be a pop related, anyways. So.
Nick just comes in 2. Nick 2. Sorry, Nick, I beat you to it, buddy.
All right. Anybody else answer? It's the tiebreaker. You have 5 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we have a delay of 6 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is why we have the I Hate Mr. Rez channel. Well, because number 3 would be something that I don't want to do. I want that to be something else. So I guess we're going to go with number 1. This was number 1. Some of you might think it's familiar. Not that I already have it. I know sometimes I have duplicates and open up double stuff, but it may be from last week. And it is a
Smuggler's Bounty Box.
Smuggler's Bounty Box.
It kind of looks familiar.
Yeah, I was gonna open it last week, but somebody beat me to it.
Damn it. Nick beat me to it on YouTube. He did his unboxing on YouTube before I was able to unbox mine.
Okay, well, we have a Dio pin. For those of you that are here.
I really like that pin, though. I really liked it. You might have to do that one person screen thing so you can show it a little bit better too.
Listen, this is a work in progress. All right.
Oh, there we go.
This is the debut. Well, I was going to say this is the debut of the TooMedToo's Star Wars Network, but that wouldn't be true because I live streamed the other day a couple things. So, all right, we got this Dio pin here. It may be diamond encrusted at the bottom, or it may not be. That's for you to decide. We got the little Ray sticker.
I think that glows in the dark.
Her lightsaber.
Yeah.
I think her lightsaber does, from what I can. That was just really quick, but what would be really cool is if this shirt was glow in the dark.
I don't know if it is or not. I wore mine, but
There we go. That's the shirt. I don't even remember what it looks like. Oh, okay.
Yeah, my daughter's tried to steal mine already, so.
This is, and I got on the other shirt. This is what came in the Smuggler's Bounty box for the dark side.
Knights of Ren?
Yeah.
I got this one on here. Oh, you can't. Nobody else can see it, but I'm wearing the Bone to Eve pod racing shirt.
Hang on.
Oh, I got one on too. The Bone to Eve pod racing shirt from the pod racing box that came out a couple months ago.
I wonder if I got that one. I started. I got the last 4 or 5.
Then yeah, you should have it because that one came in my August box.
Who's it? What else came in that box?
It was I can't think of. Let me look real quick because I'll tell you. Oh, Sabala and Aura Singh were the 2 figures.
Okay, yeah. Well, then I do have that shirt. I don't think I've worn it yet, but I got this bad boy. So, yeah, that's a cool, cute one. I really like. I know a lot of people were talking about how Funko boxes went down, but I really like the T-shirts that were coming with them.
Yeah.
I missed that whole. I guess they were really good, and I missed the really good ones, and then they turned to shit. And then right when I started getting them, they got good again.
Yeah, the boxes got kind of shitty. They stopped putting T-shirts in them for a while, and then people started canceling their subscriptions, and they started putting T-shirts back in. Because they were sending like one pop, like some other filler garbage, and then like a couple of them I got like multiple pairs of socks. Like the one set of socks that I got was really cool because it was like the background sky drop of like Endor. So like the socks are cool for you, like they're knee high. So if you pull them all the way up and you put like your legs together, you can see like the Death Star and then like the treetops and stuff. And then like the that satellite dish that gave the what do you call it, the force field around the Death Star, that was in it. So they're pretty cool looking socks. But other than that, ultra fluff.
All right, Raven, thanks for stopping by. And if you want to see the rest of the goodies, we're at minute 2:33. So tomorrow, just hop on and fast forward to minute 2:34, and you'll see what else I got that I'm opening or showing. But thank you very much for stopping by. And
thanks for stopping in, Raven.
Be with you. So yeah, I want to get. I haven't been able to find like a list of Funkos of Star Wars pops. Like I know they like the and I'm probably just not looking in the right place because I'm not a Funko expert or whatever. But you know, like you can find Black Series lists, you know, that have the complete Black Series ones going all 100 and whatever they have now, all of them, plus the extras and specialties and things that were released wherever. And you can go to, you know, they have like the Funko app, but that doesn't give them to an order. That goes by name. It goes by a bunch of, you know, other things. It's like I want to be able to look and see what's Funko number 1, what's number 27. You know, you have you can look on the back here and see, but it's not going to tell you if there's a variant of something. You know, like things like that. But yeah, so anyways, we go here. We have C3PO, and I really didn't like this one. I wasn't a fan of it until you point out the fact that he's got the bowcaster in there. So that was pretty cool. And then, of course,
got his strap on too. He's got his his brown ammo strap on him too.
Oh yeah, he does. I don't know.
Yeah, you can see. Yeah, you can see it. Yeah.
And then, of course, you have the coveted Babu Frick, which I haven't looked to see how much that's going for. Let's see what we got here real quick.
Didn't he like ridiculously spike? Because I think that box sold out.
I mean, it probably did once everybody found out the only way you can buy it, or everybody wanted it. The only way you could get it was through getting the box. So he's $40 right now.
Yeah, he's come down because I know he was ridiculous for a quick minute.
How much did it go up to for?
I know at one point I checked, he was almost close to $100, and this was like right around New Year's.
Okay.
Because the movie had been out and people he was rare, and somebody turned around and sold a couple of them real quick, which drove that value up on him. Because he was very highly hyped after the first weekend of that movie being out.
See, I'm looking for a C3PO right now. Maybe I'm just searching them wrong, but I'm not seeing him on the Funko list with this one. Yeah, I mean, I'm putting in C3PO, and I have not him, not him, not him, not him, not him, not him, not him. Nope. Oh no, that's Freddy Funko. I was like, oh no, I wish I had that Freddy Funko one. I wish I had any Freddy Funko ones. So yeah, Babu Frick's on there, but not the C3PO. I put in 341, and he still doesn't come up, so I don't even know.
They may not have added them to that list yet, because I know they're still behind on some of them too.
But he came out at the same time as Babu Frick. So
I know, but it depends on whoever they have in charge of adding the stuff to the list.
Yeah. And it'll be interesting to see what C3PO is going for versus Babu Frick. I mean, it's the only Babu Frick one that there is, and there's 10 C3POs. None of the C3POs are worth any money except for the Freddy Funko, but that's because they made a couple thousand Freddy Funko C3POs, and it was probably an exclusive for somewhere.
I found them. He's $17.
Where the fuck did you find them?
Put in Star Wars 341.
Is that the easiest way to search for them?
Yeah, it depends. Yeah, that's the way I would do it, because even if there's a duplicate of the same number, like the variants and stuff, all the variants should show up when you punch in a certain number. I
Okay.
do know a couple of the numbers are shared, so it might pop up two different characters, because for some reason a couple of the numbers, I can't think off the top of my head, but they share a character because they're under the same number for some reason. I don't know why they did that, but they did.
Well, let's see right here. Let's do this real quick.
Like if you put in Star Wars 198, you'll come up with 4 different porgs, 4 different style porgs. You know, like it's just like that. And they skip numbers too. Like they skip, you know, they'll have like 153, 150, 151, 152, 3 blank. There's no 154, but then it jumps to 155. So they have open numbers as well. So although 154 is a chrome one, I see it over there. So yeah, they did make one. But
So just really quick, in case anyone cares, the Smuggler's Bounty, the Cloud City one, is going for $30.48 right now. That does not have a T-shirt. That was probably where the people were talking about, like when they were crappy ones. Of course, I bought that for the full price when I decided to start buying them. That's got a keychain, a small little Funko, like I don't even know what it's called, and then it's got Boba Fett and Carbonite one. And
Boba gets the bounty one.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that one's cool.
That was on sale for nothing at Christmas time too.
I know. I almost wanted to get another one so I could do a light up version of, like, because they're over that back or that flooring, that orange flooring. So I was gonna do like some LED lights underneath it and have a switch to it to where I can have that illuminate kind of like it does when they're on Bespin. You know, when you walk into the carbon chamber, it lights up. Yeah.
This last one that has the last one before this, that's still $40. It's got the T-shirt I'm wearing. It's got the pin. It has Kylo, and it has a Knight of Ren. And then the Wookiee one from April, it's $28. It's got a cool T-shirt. It's the one with Chewbacca. He's got the gas mask on. It comes with shot glass and something else.
Yeah, and then like a cup, like a pint glass. It's cool too.
Yeah, Dagobah. It's $30. It's a sticker, a Yoda, and something else. And it's Luke saying goodbye, or the cave scene. Yeah. Then this one's pretty cool. It's $27. It's a Darth Vader T-shirt, Funko Pop, Funko something other, and a can opener, a Funko bottle opener.
Is that what his lightsaber is? A shape, the bottle opener shape is his lightsaber.
Yeah. Then you have the Smuggler's Bounty from August. That's the pod racing one. So yeah, I do have that. I just don't know where the T-shirt is. I haven't seen that in a while. Smuggler's Bounty box from December. That one's coming from a second person because it's in good condition. That's $20. I don't know what it is. Oh, that's the one with Lando, the skiff guard pops. They're toothpick holders, not shot glasses, by the way. And the Boba Fett luggage tag and the Mystery Hut Mini, which for For $28, it's worth it. The 2 pops are cool. I know the Lando one was $30 or $40. It's down to like 15 now.
Yeah. But that pop is so cool, and that's like that's one I wish I would have got 2 of them, because that was like one I would like to take out of the box and leave them sit on my entertainment center down here, because it's. I mean, I think it's that cool. Is it just?
So. This one I didn't get. It's the Poe Dameron one. It's got a pair of socks, a couple small little guys in it, couple of handkerchiefs or bandanas, whatever the fuck you call them, and then Poe Dameron on his X-wing. The Darth Vader one, you have a bunch of them in different sizes. Smuggler's Bounty, a bunch of them in different sizes. Red Snaggletooth shows up. I don't know why. He must be an exclusive to something. One of the boxes. Oh yeah, he's an exclusive. I don't know when.
The Jabba box, maybe, I think.
I don't know. I'm just going through here.
It was like way back when it first started, the Snaggletooth ones came out.
Yeah, it's it gets to. I got that. Oh, here you go. Somebody's selling the Red Snaggletooth for $40. Somebody else is selling it for 10. So, here, I don't know why you guys got to be looking at the bottom of my head or the top of my head. I can just do that, and we can be sharing, since I'm not. You don't have to just stare at the bottom or the top of my head anymore. You can stare at the top of both our heads, I guess, since we're because this is riveting TV right here. That's the thing I have learned about Pops is you really need to shop around.
Are you sure that it's selling the red one for 40? Because it sounds like the blue one. Because there was a red one was the normal one, and I think the blue one, which is the rare one, I guess it was like the Smuggler's Bounty Chase version. I think he goes for like 40, because there's a blue Snaggletooth and a red one.
Red Snaggletooth Smuggler's Bounty exclusive.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, that's all it really. Yeah. And then the other one is a. Star Wars Red Snaggletooth Smuggler's Bounty exclusive. One's 40, one's 10.
Huh.
But that just goes to show you the one that's 40 is from Amazon, Amazon Prime. And this one is from a second-hand dealer.
Is that $40 one the whole box, or just that one pop?
I don't know.
Because I can see them selling the whole box for $40. Maybe. Well, I've seen crazier sale prices on Amazon too, so.
The bundle includes the made item and one third-generation PET plastic graphic protector for Funko Pop. So it's just the pop and the protector. But that's being sold by Amazon. And the other one for $10 is being sold from a second source. I don't know. That's not Amazon.
That's interesting.
I almost just clicked on it to buy it. just because, but I don't really want it or need it.
Not the $40 one.
No, the $10 one. But there's a lot of stuff I'd rather get than that one. But see, that's where the RDS kicks in. It's like, oh wait, it's only $10. The other one's $40. I must get it.
Right.
But see, it's being sold by Dog Lover 223. So yeah. I think that's it.
Dog Lover 223. If you're watching, hook them up.
Yeah, dude.
If anybody knows Dog Lover 223, TooMedToo's.
I actually had someone message me the other day, and they said, "Hey, do you have this or this?" I said, "No, I don't have those Black Series yet." And they said, "Okay, well, let me know what pops you have that you want to trade for it or whatever." Or I was like, "Why, are you looking to sell them or what?" And they said, "No, I'm looking to trade for some pops." And they said, I'm looking for some older pops or some, unique or whatever." And I was like, "Well, I don't have anything like that. I just started. I don't collect pops. I started acquiring pops recently, so I haven't gotten anything that you can't get. I have some older ones, but they're not expensive, or not that they necessarily, but they're ones that I the older ones that I have are ones that I specifically bought because I wanted them. Some of the ones I have now I just got because I started acquiring them. I still don't collect them though. And it's like I have that case that I haven't opened yet of them from Force Friday. I have a case of 6 or 8 of them. That was number 2. When you were supposed to guess 1 or 2, one was this box, 2 was the other one. So, I have 2 cases of Funko Pops to open. One's all the gold ones, and one's Force Friday. So, then I still have a Smuggler's Bounty box that I haven't opened yet that I don't know when it's from. So that's actually going to be like a surprise for me. But yeah, man.
Did you acquire those Knights in Ren, the chrome ones you're talking about? Was that
Yeah,
you that was talking about?
Yeah, I opened those last week.
Okay. Did you get all 6 of them? They're all common, I think. Did you get like half of them, or
no? I got all 6 of the. I got all 6 of the chrome ones. But now I'm thinking about getting the other ones, the regular ones now too. But I don't know. I have stuff coming in from GameStop that I've ordered. GameStop gets theirs after everybody else for whatever reason. There's some that were supposed to come in the 10th, but that means they get to the warehouse the 10th. Or GameStop gets them a week after that, then at the warehouse, and then they have to be distributed from the warehouse to the stores. So they, when everybody else gets them, they get them a week or 2 after at GameStop. That's what they were telling me. So I'm not sure what I'm actually have coming in. I know how much it's going to cost me to pick them up, but I don't know what they are. So I'm waiting to find out what I have coming in, or what I have ordered that I have to go pick up until I get any more, except for the Mandalorian ones. I'd put my money down on those for, the deposit, because they want $5 down. So that way when you go pick them up, it's $6,
right,
or whatever. And then if you go at the right time, like when I picked up those ones They were buy 3 get 4 free. So I got another Kylo Ren. I got what they had. I got what they had for Star Wars ones. I got a Kylo Ren and a Purge Trooper, which are out in that box that I haven't opened up yet. But that might be. I might just do a. I don't know. I'm probably not.
That Purge Trooper was like one of their like special exclusives, and he's getting to be hard to come by. So, I mean, if you have 2 of those, if you're going to do a giveaway, that would be like a really good giveaway. Or you can trade that one to somebody, because that Purge Trooper is, from what I understand, is getting to be very, very hard to come by.
Oh, that's the Inquisitor.
I have my keys. See if he's accessible real quick.
I mean, it's only going for $17, so I don't know where he went, but yeah, so it's only going for $17. So I mean, it's oh, there he is. I can say it now for like the 5th time in 10 seconds. It's going for $17.
He's got that sticker on it.
Yeah, that's the one. That's the one I picked up. So, actually, I don't know if that's in the box. That might not be in the box because
you get these guys. Oops. The Dark Side Away.
Did those just come out?
Yeah, I stumbled across these before the weekend. I think it was Friday. I got her, and then I grabbed Red Eye C3PO, the Sith C3PO.
Okay.
I should say Sith Translator C3PO.
Yeah, those might be some of the ones I have to pick up. There's a movie scene too. I don't know how many I'm getting. I really don't know. I think I'm getting another 6 plus a movie scene or 2. But I don't know. I honestly I don't keep up with, if I was a collector of them, I would probably know. I'm just a waster of my own money and getting them. But, it's like, I got the Babu from, I got from the mystery box or the smuggler's box, I got the Babu Frick. I'm going to keep that one because it's fucking badass. The C3PO, dude, C3PO's got Chewbacca's shit. I'm going to keep that one. I purposely bought the IG-11 and the other one just because, well, I just bought those because I'm an idiot. I told the guy why I wouldn't buy them and why not to buy them, and I went and got them anyways. And I could have got it from Barnes and Nobles in a week or 2, or when they have them on sale because they can't get rid of them. But then again, I don't know. They only had 2 of them, so who knows? If I searched around, I could probably find them in a couple weeks for cheaper. But I got those 6 chromed out motherfuckers, and then I have I got the extra Kylo and extra Purge Trooper. But I mean that's what I still got. I got 2 of these guys.
Yeah, I like that one.
I have this one. I got another one. This one was cool. That's why I got it. The Sand Trooper was the exclusive. I got the one for myself, and then I got a second one because I figured it's an exclusive, so someone's gonna want it that couldn't get it, or I can do it as a giveaway. And if people can't find it as a giveaway, it's pretty cool. It's just funny depending on what part of the country you're in, how they get distributed, and Force Friday, I was here for Force Friday and then left the next day to go to St. Louis and was at my family's in St. Louis. And I went and to go see Eric Struthers band play. I had to hop in a cab and take a cab ride an hour and a half or an hour both ways or each way. Because because it was nowhere near close to where I thought I was, and he wasn't where it was gonna or whatever. But I really wanted to go see it, so it was worth it for me. Plus, the cab ride there was expensive, but it's not that expensive compared to what I'd pay for in New York City. To go 15 minutes in a cab was an hour-long cab ride there, so or 20 minutes, so it wasn't really as bad as it could have been. But he stopped at a couple Targets or Walmarts and picked some stuff up, and he's like, "Hey, if you want to come, see if they have anything." And I was like, "No, I got to go home. It's already." 2 a.m. or whatever the hell time it was. And I was staying at family's house and didn't want to, I know I had another hour to get home. I didn't want to go waking everybody up at 4 or 5 in the morning. But he went and found some stuff on Force Friday that nobody else had, and I couldn't find it here when I got back, and not because it was gone, just because it wasn't around here. And you figured New York City would be easier to find it than St. Louis. But it's a lot of the stuff, it just depends on what it is. It's kind of the opposite.
Right.
But yeah, so that just hit us at 3 hours. So I think we're gonna pull the plug on that bad boy.
Yeah.
Because once again, it wasn't gonna be long again. One of these times, people are gonna shit themselves when they see I did a live stream and it was only an hour, and we talked about what we want to talk about and open some shit up. Because that's what it was supposed to be. But yeah. So I still have not I got a pop or two come. Oh, I got the R2D2. What are the funky ones called? The painted ones or whatever. You know what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah, the Futura one or
Yeah, Futura.
Futura.
Yeah. I got the R2D2 one.
What?
Um,
you got the one that through what Amazon that's coming from overseas?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I was gonna order it, and I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna wait. I'm gonna wait and do it. I'm gonna wait till payday and get a couple more things. And it went from being regular delivery to now it's 1 to 3 months. And I was like, oh, I'm just gonna order it. Who gives a shit? Because I don't know when it's gonna come here, or if it's gonna come here.
It's gonna come. It's gonna land. It's gonna be here. It's gonna be Target, just like the Boba Fett and the Darth Vader ones were. It'll be Target exclusive ones.
And I can't find those anywhere. If anyone sees those at a Target for regular retail price or anywhere for regular retail price, pick them up for me, and I will Venmo you the money or send you the money. Because those I'm really looking for. I just don't want to pay. They're not outrageous prices, but they're more expensive pops. They're $14 pops or $15 pops, I think. But if you find them on eBay, they're $30, and I just don't want to pay $30 when I can get them for regular price if somebody finds them. Because I keep checking Target, and there's just nothing around me. There's 10 Targets by me in New York City, not necessarily by me, but 10 Targets in New York City I could go to and get them, and none of them have them. And if they do have them, you got to check it that day. Otherwise, they're gone. But
I will keep an eye out, because as soon as I find out, I can try to get out that morning to get them, because you got to go, at least in my area, you got to go in the morning or you're screwed.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking for.
You're not there. It's like concert tickets, man. You got to be there. You're out there an hour before the store opens, and hopefully the weather's nice. I mean, you get to talk to people if there's actually anybody else there, but sometimes it's worth it being there a little bit early. I mean, that's how I got the ones that I got. And actually, the Darth Vader, I got it I think it was like the next day, and it was the last one in the area, the last one in the store. Because I didn't get there, because it was done on like a Sunday morning, and the wife she was gone working at the hospital, and I, she took my truck, and I didn't have a way to get Target. So.
Yeah, it's just
so like, you go save lives, and I can just wait to buy a Funko Pop tomorrow.
Well, I mean, the Funko Pop might not have waited till tomorrow, so.
Well, right, but I was just like, you go save a couple lives, and if it's there, it's there. If it's not, then I'm spending like an extra $5 to get it. So.
Yeah, I mean that wouldn't be bad if it was an extra $5. I don't have a problem with it, but it's when you're paying 2 or 3 times for it just because it's not out there or whatever. It is out there, but you just can't find them or whatever it is. Yeah, it's the two 10-inch. I don't know what happened with the 10-inch because there's two 10-inch ones.
For which
at the same time, there's the two Boba Fett ones.
Yeah, I got those. Yeah.
At the same time, the two Boba Fett came out. Two Boba Fett 10-inch ones came out. One's red, one's red, one's black.
Yeah.
If you go on eBay, you can only find one of them. The other one's not on there.
Which one's on eBay? The black one? Because I know the red one. There was only one red one at the Target I went to, and I grabbed. I actually I traded the guy in the store the carbonized Mandalorian for that red 10-inch.
One of them.
Now I'm like, shit. You know what I mean? Because now I want the carbonized Mandalorian, and I can probably track down that Boba Fett if I really, really wanted to. I just can't track down the goddamn carbonized Mandalorian figure.
They're coming back up on Amazon.
Okay.
Yeah, that's one of the things you got to check Amazon for it because I know it was back up on there. One of the Funko Pop people I follow on Twitter. See, that would be a good reason for you just to follow. Oh, they're on Instagram too. Disfunko or Defunko or something like that.
Dispop or whatever.
Yeah, Dispop.
POP, yeah.
Yeah. They post stuff as soon as it comes on or whatever. But that's one of the things that gets posted where it becomes common knowledge that the sites get it or whatever, and then it's gone within a couple minutes because they post it for everybody to see. So it's like when you see something like that, you still got to get on there. That same thing, same day, or it's sold out on the website. But I think we talked about this enough. Who knows? I can maybe I'll do a Fallen Order live stream tomorrow, or maybe I won't because I'm off tomorrow. I'm usually off Mondays, but I had to work this morning. But they gave me off tomorrow, so they instead of getting overtime, they just switched my days, which kind of fucked up my day. But so yeah, maybe I'll do a little. I got my list of stuff I gotta do. Maybe I'll do a little Fallen Order. I got some editing I gotta do. I got my honeydew list I gotta do. I need a couple days off to get caught up on Star Wars stuff that I'm way behind on.
Yeah, I got to work tomorrow, and then I can get back to my routine of some other stuff. But one early morning for me tomorrow.
But yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'll do a couple of Fallen Order live streams. Yeah, I don't know who's left in here. We probably have Nick and Mr. Rez. So thank you for joining us. Thank you for being here for the long haul. I don't know who's still here, what's going on. But yeah, dude, I gotta go because this is I'm an hour and a half past time. So just like every week, it always happens. One of these weeks will be short though.
Yeah. One of these weeks will be short. We'll throw them off as we'll cut off, and then we'll start a whole brand new one on them, and they wouldn't even know.
Yeah, or I'll have nobody to do it with, and I'll just sit here and talk for a couple minutes and open something up, and it'll be an hour long. Yeah. But I mean, that's like Andy from Holo Chronicles popped on, and asked one question, and popped out, and that's what instead of people coming on and posting a question in the chat, say, hey, I want to get on, I'll send you the stream or post it in the chat. and they can hop on and ask their question, and we can, talk back and forth for a second or two. I mean, I'm talking to anybody that is here already knows that, and anybody that's watching it who's going to watch it for till hour number 3 probably already knows that. So I'm just gonna get out of here, and this, I think it's the new name of this is the Bacta Tank live chat is going to be the new name of it. I gotta,
I like
yeah.
that. That's pretty cool.
So
what's it going to be? TooMedToo's Bacta Tank live chat? Is that what you're going to call it now?
well, it's still going to be on the TooMedToo's network. It might just be the Bacta Tank live chat. I gotta look and see. I didn't find a Bacta Tank podcast. I found the Bacta Tank podcast. So I'm not sure if I should do TooMedToo's or the TooMedToo's Bacta Tank live chat, or just the Bacta Tank live chat or whatever. I don't know. I just went to the network, and one of my buddies said, "Well, why are you keeping TooMedToo's?" And that was I did a deep cut, and I think kind of hurt me because even Star Wars fans don't know what the fuck TooMedToo's is. It's I mean, you guys do because I've said it a bunch of times. It's a 2-1B droid. He's the only named 2-1B droid, but he's in half a comic book and 4 pages of a book, so nobody knows what it is.
Well, I mean, some of us knew him as the only named medical droid. I mean, that's how I knew who he was. He's a medical droid.
Yeah.
I didn't know that it actually had that one of them was actually really named until I looked into it. It's like, oh, that's cool.
Yes, I mean, so that's where it comes from. But even Star Wars fans don't. Even the hardcore guys. That's that's a trivia question for you right there. What's the only named 2-1B droid? And I bet you stump a shit ton of people. That's probably 10 to 1. 10 people know it for everyone, or don't know it for every one person that does. So
that's a good idea. I have a couple people I'm going to ask that to tomorrow, see if they know.
Even the Pop doesn't even have a name. It has the name medical droid. It's not even a 2-1B droid. Right. So but that was just like, well, no, I kept it because I want to keep that because I was thinking about changing it to the number 2 Med 2, which is like C3PO is actually SEE dash 3PO, or whatever it is. The C is the short version of it. And it's just what everyone knows it as. But if you ask someone, to properly name this droid, it would probably be the spelled out it's the spelled out version of them. So I was going to change it to TooMedToo's with the 2, with the number 2 Med 2. And I was like, what? I've had this long enough for 2 years. It's not well known, but a few people know it. And not that you can't change yourself or change your branding or whatever. It's just, it is what it is. That's what I went with. That's what I'm sticking with. And, it's not like it's going to change anything. I think sticking Star Wars after it is all I need for it. Then at least it's a Star Wars channel or Star Wars thing. You don't need to know what TooMedToo's is.
And then if you tag Star Wars behind it, then you're going to start drawing in some more followers and more subscribers and even more views, because then they'll stumble across. They do a basic search of Star Wars in your YouTube search thing, and it's going to bring up all of them. And oh, hey, look, this is a Star Wars live chat.
Yeah.
And then they'll look and see like the dates, and they'll say, oh, well, it looks like it's every Monday. Then we'll start getting more and more and more, and then we can get you to that 1K so you can stream for us at the celebration. That's what I really want.
Yep, that's what I really want. And
I can't be there, but you can, so I can be there through you.
Yeah. And I I didn't really do anything trying to push the channel I was gaining probably about 5 followers a day, going through Facebook and Twitter and and pretty much just whoring myself out. And I was gaining about 5 people a day, which is what I need to hit my mark. I actually need 3 people a day, but so getting that 5 people a day. But then from Christmas until a couple of days ago, I didn't do anything, and I started going down from 3 to 2. So I was, I had 4 or 5 days in a row where I didn't gain anybody. And then I gained 14 the other day. I gained 4 yesterday. I don't know what tomorrow's going to be, but we'll see.
Well, hopefully I get you some, because I sent the link, the YouTube link, to a bunch of people on Instagram, trying to get them to jump in. I know a couple people told me that they're going to check it out because they're currently at work right now. One of them's my friend over in Australia. He's at work, but he'll probably check it out later on. He has a YouTube channel too, so he does a lot of Star Wars photography.
It's like I said, that's my friend from work that stopped in. She doesn't like Star Wars. She's never watched this before. She just subscribed because she knew that I was looking for subscribers. And, she stopped in and #support and left. That was it. It's like, that's all I need. That's all I want. I just need people to,
show support.
I know the way to grow your channel properly isn't, through contests and stuff like that, because they're going to get people that are just entering for the contest that might leave afterwards. It's like that's the way the experts say to grow your channel. Giveaways and stuff like that isn't the way to properly grow. Yeah, you're going to grow your people, but you're not going to grow your viewership. I'm not looking for viewership right now. I'm not looking to monetize. I'm just looking to be able to walk around with my camera and say, go here, go there, and not have to worry about it. So, yeah. All right. With that, I know I've said that a million times, and I've said it for the last 20 minutes now. We got to get out of here. It's already, I don't even know what time it is, though.
It's like 11, midnight your time, almost.
Yeah, we got to get out of here before it hits midnight, or I'll turn into a fucking pumpkin.
Yeah.
So, all right. Kylo.
All right, my brother. I will see you on the next one, or if you do anything, if you do any live stream, I might live stream some Fallen Order 2 by the end of the week. I know this weekend I will, so if you ain't got nothing going on, let me know. And I have the whole weekend to myself at the house, so I'll be probably playing some kind of game. I'll try to do the Fallen Order for you.
If you do Fallen Order, I probably won't watch it. Just because I want it, even though I know what happens, I want to experience. I want to that's what I like about when I do Fallen Order. I like it when you're on there, because after I try for 5 minutes, banging my head against the wall, you'd be like, "No, dude, go to the left." I'm like, "Oh, I didn't even think about that." I'm
also playing God of War too, so or there's a couple other games I just got because they're either cheap or free on the PlayStation. So
okay, yeah. So, but yeah, that's more of a.
Or I might even play, what is it, Star Wars Lego. I have the Star Wars Lego game for PlayStation 4, so I might play that.
Oh, I mean, I'm not saying don't play Fallen Order. I just probably won't stop in the live chat, but I'll be working this weekend anyway. So, it seems to be the only day that me and my girlfriend have off anymore together is Sunday. So I'm kind of limited on what I can do on that day, because before it used to be, she was working. She'd get one day off every month and a half or 2 months since the restaurant opened, but now she's able to hire a manager, so she doesn't have to be there all the time. So, but we were both off today, but I have to work this morning, and I'm off tomorrow. She's working all day tomorrow, so I got free time to do some catch up. Try and teach myself for an hour or two how to Photoshop again and watch some videos on it. But I spent 2 hours trying to figure out which Photoshop thing to download, because they all say free and you go to download it and it's, free with watermarks. And
are you still just trying to move images? Are you trying to Photoshop, like you said, put faces on bodies and stuff like that? Or
Oh yeah, you didn't see the one I did? Check out the Photoshop I did.
If there's
On,
anything, just send me some photos, and I have a program I can play around with them like the rest of the week, and then I see what I can do and send them back to you.
well, I kind of like. I was trying to get it actually look. I was trying to get it to look right, but I couldn't even get the faces onto the body. I couldn't figure that out on the program. I had no problem separating them. Um, and fixing stuff up and deleting stuff or whatever, and getting rid of faces. I just wasn't able to get them combined. That's where I was having my problem. But I spent hours trying to figure out what software to get because it's all free until you go to sign up for it, and then it's free, but it's with a watermark for 7 days, and this and that, and it's like, I'm just looking for free Photoshop shit, and yeah, so I just put up blockheads on it, and people are like, dude, that's hilarious, I love it, and it's like, well,
I did see that. I was like, that is funny.
yeah,
It's different. Yeah, it's different. It'll catch somebody's eye, so that that might be the benefit to it too.
but I needed, it's like it had Coach's Corner on it, and I had to put Corellia instead of it being Corellia Coach's Corner. It's Coach's Corner Corellia, which there's no problem with that. It's just not the name of it, and it doesn't, whatever. It's just not the way I wanted it. But I just got sick of trying to figure shit out. It wasn't even trying to figure it out that long. It was trying to figure out which program to use, and then downloading the program and realizing it wasn't the right one because it's not free, and I got to do this and that, and it has a watermark on it. So deleting it, or uninstalling it, then reinstalling, installing something else. But okay, I think we hit 12 o'clock now, so we're into the next day. So all right,
send me some images or whatever through the thing, and then like give me an idea, and I'll see what I can do with it. And then if I don't know if the program we use is free or not. I think it is because I don't like paying for that kind of crap. So I'll have to look into it. We'll chat throughout the week.
All right.
Okay. But yeah, I'm gonna let you get out of here, so because I gotta go to bed. I gotta work in the morning.
Yeah, I gotta go see my girlfriend. So
yeah,
she's on the other side of the door. You guys know that though, but she probably wants my puppy. So all right.
All right, I will see you on the next one whenever we do one.
All right, and everyone, don't forget, if you want me to thank you for sponsoring this show, like I do to Mr. Rez and to Chris from Kentucky, all you gotta do is go to my Patreon. It is listed in the notes below, and you don't need to break the bank. It's not one of those you give me money and I'll give you stickers or T-shirts and shit like that, because I haven't gotten to that point yet. It's just give me your money to show your support and happiness for the show. So I can upgrade systems and pay for programs and keep this high class professional content coming to you. Your money's not going to be used for toys and collectibles. It's going to be used for cameras and computers and stuff of that nature.
Contracts. Our contracts that we signed for him.
Yes. All right. With that, I said a good day. May the force be with you. That's my line. Oh, that's from chapter 2.
Yes.
Peace.